And we're live.
Hooray!
We did
Game
it.
of the year.
Game of the year.
We made it to the year.
Yep, Game of the Year for 2018. Let's go. Prediction.
Favorite game that came out in 2018.
A whole 11 days worth of games to talk about.
I heard that They Are Billions is like really good or whatever. So
A lot of people have been streaming it. A lot of people have been liking it.
that might be the first one of the year I try out, to be honest with you. That seems neat. I didn't know. I thought that was a RTS. It's actually like a defense game, so that made it interesting to me.
Ah.
Yeah, kind of cool. But yeah, we're actually here to talk about 2017. That was to fool you all, you foolish, foolish listeners, for believing me.
So sneaky.
We snuck it by you, exactly.
Super sneaky.
As you can tell, Sean will be muting periodically because he is still sick.
I'm still sick.
You're
Hooray.
still sick. Week 6.
Week 6 of this cold.
That's so bad. God, that's so bad.
It's my own hell. I don't know what I did to deserve it.
I don't know. But this is the top-down perspective. We're going to get right into things because this episode usually drags on a little bit because there's a lot to talk about. It is a year-end wrap-up for the year 2017, year of our Lord, 2017.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Okay. I don't know
We have
where
we have community answers that we will
Yeah,
announce as we go along.
We have community answers, so those are closed, obviously, and I pulled them last night. So there's a few that came in today that I just kind of added haphazardly in there if they made sense to. So those are there. For the top 10, the way we did things this year, though, was not good for a top 10 list for community, so it's a top 5. Because after top 5, like position 6 to 10 was just kind of everywhere, all over the board. But there was a solid 5 that were like, yeah, this is pretty representational of what people have been playing. So that's why you won't be hearing from the community stuff until about number 5 on our list. And when we get to that stuff, and also the community guessed or predicted what our games of the year would be based on how we talked about them or on air, off air, whatever. So that'll be interesting to see how on or off they were. There were some interesting guesses for all of us in that list that didn't make any sense at all. So that was, I think one of my favorites was for Sean. A few people were just like Resident Evil 7 was his favorite. It's like, really?
Oh, good. Nice, good guess.
Yeah.
Solid pick.
Considering Sean's always said he hates scary games and got mad when there was a scary part in Hellblade.
Hellblade. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Sean, where did you want to start on here? We have a bunch of categories.
Hey, wherever you want, man. You're running the ship.
Okay.
I'm just surviving.
Clearly, let's start with number 1 on our top 10 just to get it out of the way.
Yeah, just to get that out of the way so everybody can tune out and listen to something else, I guess.
Right.
I always like to start with... I like to purge the toxins right away. I like to talk about the things that sucked and just get that out of the way. So let's do disappointing. Let's talk about the disappointing games.
All right. This is a game that we thought would be good. We wanted it to be good.
Yeah.
And it disappointed.
I've got like 5.
I have 3.
I have 5.
As long as you have like a clear standout one as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. For sure.
Well, John, why don't you start?
Yep.
Since you have more.
All right, I had 5 on my list. These are in no particular order except for the last one because I was actually super disappointed in that one. Jackbox Party Pack 4.
Oh, yeah, that's a good disappointment. I could see that.
Yeah, 3 was way better.
Yep. That's true.
Yep.
4 has like 1.5 good games, maybe.
Yeah, Fibbage 3 is excellent. Highly recommend. That's pretty much the only reason I recommend it at this point. Monster Seeking Monsters, all right if you have the right group.
I don't like that one.
I hate Survive the Internet.
I think Survive the Internet is also okay.
I think that one depends on the group you're with. I think a lot of these severely depend on what group you're with.
Bracketeering, though. Oh, man.
See, that's the thing. We had a great time with bracketeering. So, again, it depends on what group you have. But even then, I'd agree. Like,
I just think as a game, it sucks.
What are the odds you're going to have 16 people to fill up a round and then like a bunch of people that add extra votes? So that's super situational.
Yeah. I remember with that one specifically, I bought it when it came out. I had kind of a drinking night where a bunch of us in my Discord got together and had a few drinks, chatted, and played along. And, like, I basically the next morning, I refunded it. I was like, that was fucking terrible. Even with drinking and playing with friends, I had a bad time with that thing. So, yeah. Yeah.
Next up, or am I going to keep going?
I mean, I have 5 as well. You and I can go back and forth a little bit if you want.
Why don't you guys go back and forth? Okay. And I'll jump in around round 3.
Let me tell you about The Surge and how it was supposed to be the technological sci-fi version of Dark Souls and ended up being a clunky, shitty mess. Yeah.
Okay, tell me more.
Sucks.
Yeah, it has some cool stuff in it. Basically, the cool things about it are what you would like the combat. You kind of break off pieces of like body parts of your enemies because they're all kind of mechanical and machine-like, and then you use those parts that you kind of cut off to upgrade your machine loader thing, your rig. So like that stuff's cool. The problem is that it's boring, it's repetitive, and there's just like nothing to care about in it. It's just bland. It's just a bland, shitty game. And it's a disappointment for that reason. But like, I had some fun, so that's why it's 5, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So, John, go ahead. Your next one.
All right, cool. Next one for me. Mario Party, the top 100.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You thought this would be good?
I hoped. I didn't think I hoped. I was pessimistic. This is one time I was hoping I was wrong.
Sure.
Nope.
Okay.
They didn't. Nope.
No.
I really wanted it to be. I really thought this would be the time where they'd like, oh, we learned a lesson. We'll have a normal board game mode with this one. Nope. It's just Star Rush with mini games that are from the old games. So like they completely missed the point of the pack. And it's just, I don't know.
I think the point of Mario Party is bad mini games.
No, I think the point of Mario Party is to piss off your friends, and you don't even get that with this one. So
okay.
Yeah. Fair enough. My number 4 was Sundered, because Sundered has the coolest looking art style for bosses ever. It looks so good in screenshots, and it sounds like it might be a neat idea, a Metroidvania where it's kind of procedurally generated what attacks you where as you're moving around. But what that actually amounts to is swarms of random shit swarming your screen randomly in parts of the level where they can like are actually coming out of the walls, and some are just unhittable until they hit you, depending where you are in the environment. And just like, it gets to a point where it's just even the combat's no fun because you're so overpowered, and these things are still just like 100 things like attacking you, but they're all like 1 HP essentially to you. So you kill all of them with like a few hits. It's either super annoyingly hard at the beginning, or then just like dull later on and just kind of a nuisance. And there's nothing really great about Sundered. It's too easy to play through and beat as well. It's a little short. So like any enjoyment you find in it is with 3 giant bosses. And I will say those bosses are fun, but that's kind of it. It's really, really a shame. I'm going to go ahead and throw out a community. I have 4 for the community for disappointing games. So, number 4 for the community was Mass Effect Andromeda, which...
That's fair. I forgot that was this year.
I'll talk a little bit about that later. Let's go ahead and go back to you, John, for number 3.
My number 3, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Really just kind of...
This is a bummer.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like a waste. Felt like it was a little rushed. The roster was barely different. The gameplay, thankfully, is the only good thing about it. But even then, like, it's super unbalanced and broken. Story mode, while like was lackluster even for like Marvel standards. Like, there's no.
That's a shame.
There's no like cutscenes for beating like arcade mode as any character or anything like that, unless they've since patched that. It looked super ugly at launch, which apparently they've also since patched that. But like it was too little, too late for me. It lost me too early as a day one adopter.
Yeah, that's really a shame too. How do you fuck up a Marvel vs. Capcom story and not make it boombastic? Like, come on. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, someone in the chat also has a good point. Funny how if they had actually waited to release the game, they could have still had X-Men characters in. That's the thing. There's no X-Men characters at all in there. So like Wolverine's gone. Yeah. All the regulars that would be there. Storm, Sentinel.
Is that the first one Wolverine isn't in out of all of them?
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure he's in everyone with an X-Men roster.
He's the best at what he does.
I have to think about Marvel's Capcom 1, but I'm pretty sure he's been in every single one.
Yeah, he was definitely in one.
Then yeah, he was in all of them.
Yeah. Wow.
In fact, he's in twice in Marvel's Capcom 2.
Infinite's so bad, it actually took away its flagship member. Great. That's really too bad. Sean, I'm going to jump to you for number 3 now. You can jump in.
Thank you. Mine is Layton's Mystery Journal.
Oh, that sucks.
I was really excited for Professor Layton to be on the phone. Played through that, and it's just disappointing compared to what that series has been on the DS and 3DS. All the characters suck. There's red herrings in there. The main character's not great to follow around. And it was just a letdown. I was looking forward to so much more, especially when they have Phoenix Wright games that are on the phone, and it's like, man, these are incredible.
Yeah. Well, they didn't really change anything with those, though. They're just ports.
And so is this, because this also came out on 3DS.
Oh my God, you're right. I totally forgot it did.
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually seen a 3DS copy in stores.
It came out later, but it came out like October versus July. It also came out at a full $40 as opposed to like the 16 or whatever it came out on phones.
Yeah, I do not remember seeing this in any stores, now that I think about it.
Ow.
Well, it's not good.
That's really shitty. Number 3 for me, Friday the 13th. How do you fuck up a game that's basically make Dead by Daylight with a franchise and clean it up a bit? They found a way. They made it $40 so people didn't want to buy it. They made it so if people didn't play Jason, they would quit the game, making you at a disadvantage anytime you played with randos. They made it so randos could actually kill you, like other campers could kill you and troll you while you're playing. So if you weren't in the mood, if you wanted to actually try to beat Jason, who was overpowered as it was, you probably just get people fucking with you the whole time and saying racist shit over the voice comms. They didn't put it on sale on October 13th, which was a Friday. They had the perfect opportunity for Halloween month on Friday the 13th to put it on sale, and I even said, if this goes on sale, I'll buy 3 copies and give it out to people I play games with so we could play that night, and they didn't fucking do it. So, there you go. It's just, everything about that game is just bad to me. I think the reason it's disappointing is because it had promise. Like, Dead by Daylight did this type of game, and it was fine. And this looked like it was going to be fine, but in practice, it just was too little, too late. Number 3 for the community was Yooka-Laylee.
That's fair. I heard some disappointing things on that one.
Yeah. John, number 2. Let's do it.
My number 2, most disappointing, Mario Sports Superstars, which is the exact same as Mario Party Top 100. Basically, I didn't have hope, but I really wanted it to be good because I love the Mario Sports titles. I love Strikers. Strikers is probably my favorite Mario Sports title. And when they said there was going to be a proper soccer game in it, I got real excited, and then it was awful.
Great.
It was
I don't even
really
remember
bad.
this game. But
yeah,
I don't
it was
either.
like early in the year. It was like March.
Okay.
It was pretty bad. the only like even tennis felt a little gimped, and it was pretty much just the Open Tour engine and game, just with like most of the features removed. And like golf felt lacking. It was ridiculous.
Lame. Fucking lame. Sean?
My number 2 is Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
Okay, I could see it.
That game is a complete disappointment.
Yeah.
That could have been one of the coolest things, having like real Animal Crossing on your phone. And what sucks is for like the first hour or two, it actually feels like that.
Yeah.
You get so excited, and then you realize just like what the actual framework of this thing is, and it's just a giant kick in the nuts for the rest of that.
Then you realize it's a mobile game.
Yeah, and I keep getting notifications, and I have no interest in going back in there whatsoever. Yeah, it's a total letdown.
Yeah, I could see that. That's really too bad. Speaking about total letdowns, Raid World War II was a total letdown for me this year because it was made by the dudes who made Payday, and they weren't able to just make Payday in World War II. They somehow made it shitty. Now,
Payday 2 kind of sucked when it first came out as well.
Yeah, the problem is that this is worse than what Payday 2 was back then even.
That's impressive.
It's kind of like Payday 1 when that was released.
Ooh.
So
that's rough.
Raid World War II has potential to be good, but I think they turned off everybody with what they showed because they did show it early even, and I like kind of was like, okay, whatever. But now it just seems like people are taking a shit on it and won't go back to it. So, in fact, Payday 2's numbers went up after that game came out. So, it's one of those things where not only did it disappoint me this year, I think it's going to continue just not living up to what it could because the community's not there now. Too bad. Number 2 from the community was Star Wars Battlefront 2. Which,
all right,
sure. Yeah. John, what's the most disappointing game of 2017?
Double Dragon 4.
Yeah, I saw that coming, actually.
Yeah, I forgot that came out this year. That's how much I was disappointed by it.
Yeah.
God, I just wanted a confident beat 'em up that you couldn't beat in fucking 20 minutes your first playthrough. Oh, God. Like,
that's too much to
went back to the end. Yeah, like, you get fucking Arc System Works on it, like the fucking Guilty Gear guys. And then you're like, all right, make basically just the NES game again. But, like, not even, like, 3 where they added in, like, special moves and changing characters and shit. No, just 2 again. Clunky as shit. And then once you beat the game, unlock this crazy, like, 100-floor tower to unlock all the enemies you fight as and, like, random characters from the other games. And then they all feel even clunkier and then go through the game again. And then all the achievements are basically beating the entire game again as every character.
It sounded lazy as fuck.
Yeah. It's super lazy. Well, I saw that Limited Run Games like a couple weeks ago did a physical print of that, and I just laughed.
Yeah. Wow. It's not actually surprising to hear you say that that's the most disappointing. For sure.
Yeah. It was
because
pretty bad, dude.
When I heard Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite a little earlier, I was like, oh, now I know what his most disappointing is. So, yeah. Sean, I think you and I could probably say our number 1 at the same time.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The most disappointing game of the year is Mass Effect
Andromeda. Yep. It made me retroactively wonder if that series is even good.
EA has shelved it. Like they are not pursuing Mass Effect anymore. They
it made me
killed Mass Effect, and that sucks. Mass Effect is one of my favorite game series. It's been so good.
Yep.
And I didn't play more than like 10 hours of this one, and I was even thinking like maybe I'll do some over the break. I completely even forgot to take it home with me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it is such a bummer. Just like it hurts that they did so badly with one of my favorite franchises.
Mass Effect 2 was one of my favorite games ever made. Mass Effect 3 I was an apologist for, even though it had some issues with it. This makes me glad I never bought that N7 hoodie I was almost going to get, because I wouldn't wear it after that shit. Fuck Andromeda.
Sure. Yep.
What a fucking piece of garbage. Most disappointing game of the year for the community was Sonic Forces.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Who thought that would be good?
Yeah, you know what? You gave me shit about earlier, Sean, for Mario Party, but I think I'm with you on that one. You didn't go into Sonic Forces thinking it was going to be good.
Yeah. I mean,
you just
I understand, like,
stupid game. You're gonna have fun.
Mania may have changed your mind a bit, but like, come on, really? They're just gonna keep hitting him out of the park one after another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that felt good. I feel clean. Right. I feel like a burden's
do you want to
been lifted.
do the inverse of that next?
Yeah, we have to do the inverse now. Let's talk about our surprising games. Games that we were just like, I wonder if that's going to be something, and it turns out to be like, oh, this is actually really good, or just something that came out of nowhere, that type of thing. I have 3 for this one.
I have 3.
I forgot most of the year. I only have 1.
Okay. Sean, go ahead. You start.
My first surprise is Mario and Rabbids.
That was the only one on my list.
Okay. This is a game with Rabbids in it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
I thought that franchise was pretty much dead, and then they combined it with one of the more popular franchises out there and made a completely different kind of genre for both of those franchises, and it was good.
Yeah, like I don't remember if we talked about it on a podcast or not, but I remember actively making fun of this thing.
Yes.
When that first
you were doing that for a long time, and I believe I was there with you.
Yeah, that promo thing came out kind of blurry first, and then the high res, and it was like what is going on?
When it first came out, we thought it was like a third-person arena shooter because like they didn't tell us anything about the gameplay.
Yeah, but then that thing came out, and it is shot. It has no right to be as good as it is.
Exactly, I agree, 100%.
Fair enough. Mine was Cuphead because I thought for sure that
really?
From what I've seen of it, that it was going to be all style and no game, like no good mechanics, and I thought it played wonderfully compared to how I thought it would probably play. I thought it would be kind of just all the time put into the art assets and not as much in the gameplay.
Okay. Well,
yeah, go on.
No, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna say, well,
you didn't think it played okay?
I don't think you're necessarily wrong with what you were saying. It might be. I feel it's a bit more. I feel it's a bit more substance over style, or sorry, style over substance.
I mean,
good thing it's not on your list.
It's like a lot of style for sure. I think it has some programming errors in it, but I thought it was solid as shooter.
Is what I'm trying to say. I feel Cuphead was lacking.
Yeah,
having put a lot of time into it and given time to reflect on it. No.
Yeah,
they could have done way better. And in fact, if they ever do a sequel, I'm sure it will be better. But
for the time it took them to get it out, I agree with that. But either way, I was still surprised that it basically, first of all, that came out, to be honest with you. Second of all, that it played in a way that I enjoyed. Sean. Oh, yeah, Community. I did pull 3 for this one. Their number 3 was Sonic Mania. Which,
Yep. That's a good surprise for sure.
Number 2, Sean.
My number 2, it's Zelda?
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild. Have you guys heard of this one?
No.
That's a nice indie title.
Yeah. And I know, like, for the most part, it's Zelda. It's probably going to be good. But I think the big surprise was just how different it was. And then how successful it completely did this, like, new change. So that's why it's on my list there.
Sure. There's another game I wonder if you guys heard about. It's called PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
That's a good answer.
That was my number 2 surprising game, because when I first saw that, it was because those devs gave an alpha build to a streamer that I watched randomly one night, and I was like, oh, this is dog shit. Why are they even trying this? But it turns out that streamer was actually like one of the biggest streamers, like this Summit guy or something.
God, it was Summit G?
Yeah, he's one of the biggest streamers, and then they started giving it out to other streamers with like 30,000 people watching them regularly, and it became a hit because people buy things that they want to play with their favorite streamers. So a lot of people started buying it and playing it, and because of it, you could get into a game right away, so it made it the first Battle Royale game where you could insta-queue for 100-player matches, and it played okay. And then it got better and better in how it played, and now it's just like a force. But it's finally starting to die down now that's officially out and like plays decently, which is kind of funny to me how like at its peak popularity, it ran fucking terribly. And now that it's like better running, it's starting to die down a little bit, but like not really, to be honest with you.
I mean, that game had more players than Dota 2 at one point, and Dota's free.
Yeah.
So that is a valid point. That is definitely real surprising.
Yep. So that was my most surprising, because when I first saw it, I was just like, oh, this is going nowhere.
Okay.
The Communities was A Hat in Time.
That's
Okay.
fair.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All
Sean.
right, am I the only one with the game left?
No, I have one.
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, Paula's one. All right, my number one, most surprising game is HQ.
Yeah.
That thing came out of nowhere, is super weird. I don't think anyone expected anything like that to just pop, onto this phone for free. By the way, it's out on Android now, so you guys can see the glory that is Scott Rogowski. But yeah, HQ is a weird, out of left field game.
Yep. It sure is. My most surprising game was Hollow Knight, because I saw screenshots of it and thought it looked cute, and it turned out to be the best Metroidvania game I've ever played.
Cool.
Yeah.
Which game?
Hollow Knight.
Okay. Yo, can I actually throw on an extra one? Because I forgot about this as I was looking up games for this year. Voodoo Vince got a remaster.
Voodoo Vince.
That was a weird like 3D platformer for the original Xbox.
Just a weird choice.
Yeah, like who was clamoring for more Voodoo Vince?
Wait, this got a remaster?
Yeah, this year apparently. Oh, baby,
huh.
Come on, you gotta be.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I know, right? Like that's super weird.
I didn't actually know that, and I just added it to my cart for later.
Yeah.
Because I always saw, I didn't ever own an original Xbox. I still don't actually. So I've seen it before, but I've never tried it. I'm gonna try that out.
All right, Community most surprising?
Community most surprising game of the year, as I fill dead air while I look for the list again here, was Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly so.
Good answer.
Yep. Okay. That takes care of those. Let's talk about best audio, our new category.
All right. I have three.
I made a full mixtape of like 17 or songs or something from different stuff, but I have one full soundtrack answer, which I'll give, so that I'll count that as one. Okay. Sean, you start.
I can start. Okay. My first one is Night in the Woods.
Okay.
I enjoyed the music of that game quite a bit, and then all the times you get to play in a band when you get to play bass is just tons of fun, and the music is good, and it's just like a great time as well as sounding great.
Sure. Oh, Sean, did you say you had 4 or 3?
I have 3.
You have 3. Okay. I'll say Community. I had pulled 4 for Community, so I'll catch up with that a little bit. Community's number 4 was Nier Automata, and their 3 was Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
So I think you can just go with number 2. No, John, you had 2, right?
Yep.
Okay. Why don't you give me your number 2 then?
Persona 5.
Yeah.
A nice jazzy multi-style soundtrack.
Yeah.
All kind of funk-filled a little bit, and just like honestly, pretty much every single song on that soundtrack's phenomenal.
Yeah. It's a really good soundtrack. Sean, go ahead.
My number 2 is Pyre.
That's my number 1. That whole soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah, it hits like every genre, and then any time where they throw in like lyrics, the moments are fantastic with it, and it just like really hits home. Yeah. I think there's one sport event near the end where the whole thing is you play it during one of like the lyric songs, and it's just so epic and great.
So, fun fact, ever since Bastion, I've actually just sight unseen listened to all of Darren Korb's stuff. So I heard the Pyre soundtrack before playing the game, and like would just play it on repeat while doing stuff for background music. And
sure,
it's amazing that way. But when you see the context of where some of the songs play in the game, it's fucking like heart-wrenching. Some of the part, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
Community number 2?
Community number 2 is Cuphead.
Sure, good answer.
Yeah. John, you're number 1.
Cuphead.
Yeah.
All right.
Honestly, like I love like old-timey jazz, and that entire soundtrack is just full of fucking bangers. Yep. Like that's the one thing I think Cuphead did well. His presentation is fucking top-notch.
For sure.
Audio and looks. So yeah, Cuphead, hands down.
I think especially with Cuphead, the recreation of the voice acting from those old cartoons and the like shitty sounds for
that shopkeeper.
The shopkeeper and some of the bosses and all that stuff.
There is a visceral reaction you have the first time you meet that shopkeeper.
It's great. Yeah. And King Dice and his song, like everything about that era is represented beautifully audio wise.
My number one is Nier Automata.
Yeah.
That game's music is great. Yep. And it just gets better the deeper you get into the game, and specifically there's that part at the very end, ending E in the credits. There's a real cool moment, and then like everything is just swelling together, and it's super good.
It's so good, especially since that soundtrack is done twice normally and like in 8-bit.
Yeah, and then exactly in the chiptune, and there's fights where you're going back and forth, so there's working together. Yeah, it is really cool.
For sure. It's so good. Yeah. And Communities was Persona 5. Their top.
Nice.
Which makes sense. That soundtrack is real good. Okay. Let's move to 2017's 2016 Game of the Year.
Okay, I have 3.
Okay. I have 2.
I have 1.
Okay, I can start.
Yeah, do it up.
My number 3 is Overcooked.
Yeah,
that was last year.
Played a whole bunch of that this year with various friends. I actually beat it over the break, and that game is just completely delightful. It is the perfect like couch co-op game. It's I just wish the way it gated progression was a little easier. But yeah, all the characters are delightful. They look great. You unlock some really cool chefs. Yeah, that is so much fun.
Yeah, agreed. Community number 3 is Stardew Valley, which makes sense because of the Switch version being out and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
John, number 2.
Wild Guns Reloaded, a modern port of Wild Guns for the Super Nintendo, adds 4 player support, 2 new characters, got a Steam release, I believe, this year, but the PS4 release, the original release, was actually in December of last year. God, I forgot how good that game was. It's just really fun, really hard, and like awesome with friends. So highly recommend.
Yeah, for sure.
Just wish it had online co-op.
Yep, that's a glaring problem for me specifically. But yeah, Sean, go ahead.
Should we do a community one?
You not have a number 2?
I do. I okay.
I'll do it after you.
It goes you, Paul, and then community.
The community one's kind of like the chaser. And then we start the next round, essentially.
Okay, yeah. My number 2 is Solitarica.
Oh, yeah.
This is a phone game. I think it's actually on Steam as well.
It is.
But it is a fantastic mix on Solitaire with some roguelike elements. The art style is like wonderful. It's incredibly engaging and strategic. And I played this a ton at the beginning of the year. It is very good.
Yeah. Community number 2 was Overwatch. Makes sense to me.
That's fair.
Yep, that makes sense.
John, 2017's 2016 Game of the Year. What is it?
Death Road to Canada.
I was not expecting that answer. All right.
I know. We have played that a lot on stream this past year, and even in 2016 too. I just appreciate just how ludicrous that game is in general, honestly.
Fair enough.
It's just a silly adventure game that it can be as hard or as easy as you want. You can make your friends and get them killed in stupid ways, which is what usually ended up happening to us.
Yeah.
But like, we never really tapped the well dry on how just stupid and fun that game was.
Cool. Glad to hear it. Sean, what is 2016 Game of the Year for 2017?
Mini Metro.
Yeah, I tried to get into this, but I felt dumb because I was just like, I don't get this, and like played something else because I had a shitload of stuff to play.
Yeah, again, this is on Steam. I played it primarily on my phone. Yep. This is like the only game I really kept on my phone for the entire year. I can always go back to it. It's perfect for podcasting. It's perfect just on a plane killing time. I love Mini Metro. There's just enough like mindlessness to the strategy that it is perfect for me. I can always play some mini Metro.
Cool.
And they keep adding new cities, which is fantastic.
Cool. Mine was Dark Souls 3, because boy, did I play the shit out of that this year.
You sure did.
I played the most Dark Souls I've ever played in my life this year, because I played through all of them again, a solo and with Nathan. So I played... Dark Souls 3 was like the one I did not ever wanting to stream or whatever, so I just played that every night after work for about a month. And yeah, that game is still good. Go figure. In fact, I would say it's better now than, like, I think I should have put that higher on my 2016 list as I played it more and more. Okay, communities top was Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yeah, big surprise.
Okay.
Overwhelmingly too. Let's do 20XX. So 2017's Game of the Year that came out any year besides 2017 and 2016.
Yeah. So like best old game.
I have two, but I may not be able to view them because of Bagel. Let's see here.
I have two.
I have two as well.
All right. Paul, why don't you start?
Oh, no, I have mine. Okay, I can see them.
Okay. I mean, I'll still start. I just lumped these all together, Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, for the same reasons that I just said.
Okay.
I just lumped them all together. So,
sure.
Yeah.
I'll go next.
Yeah, you go next.
You Must Build a Boat.
Okay.
This game's great. I haven't had it on my phone for a while. Never got really into it. Wasn't a big fan of, 10 million is the one before it.
Yeah.
But this one just clicked for whatever reason. And yeah, quite into that.
Cool. John, number 2.
Shantae and the Pirate's Curse.
Oh,
I finally got around to like playing and finishing that. This is not the latest one. That's Half Genie Hero.
It reminded me that I need to play the latest one.
Yeah, no. Shantae games are all pretty good.
Yeah,
I highly recommend. And that one's like Half Genie is supposed to be even better. So maybe that'll be on next year's.
Yeah. So you enjoyed it? Good time?
Definitely. It was my travel game for quite a while.
Nice. Cool. Coincidentally enough, I only got 2 out of the community as well, so that works out perfectly. Their number 2 was Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS.
Okay.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yep. My number 1 was Tabletop Simulator, because the Dark Souls board game came out on it and other board games as well. And I basically saved like $250 Canadian playing that version by like with friends
instead of buying the real one,
and was able to play it with friends like randomly all over the world instead of having to get together and like all that stuff. So playing it that way just made it great. But then of course that's what I started like playing a little bit of Magic the Gathering with some people that I know as well. They were trying to teach me it, but I'm a hopeless, stupid cause and can't get into it. But, like, yeah, that thing's just amazing, and it gets better the longer it exists.
My number 1 20XX game is Ace Attorney Dual Destinies.
I kind of saw this coming.
I think an Ace Attorney game wins it every year for me. In fact, I started Spirit of Justice this morning.
Nice.
So... not much to say. Ace Attorney is fantastic, and having it on the phone is always a treat.
Sure. John, your best.
My number 1 was Alien Soldier for the Genesis. One of the few treasure games I haven't played for the forever. All boss rush fight, and it's all crazy and over the top and really fun. Highly recommend it if you like any treasure game like Gunstar Heroes.
I haven't heard that name in so long. It makes me very happy to hear that title again. I forgot that existed. That's dope. Communities was Xenoblade Chronicles X, which makes sense, I guess. So, yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. That only leaves the pile of shame, which I entitled Missed Out on my thing here, and then our top 10s. So we will do the pile of shame after to not like ruin the drama of going through our top 10s, I think. It's time to do the list.
We're doing pile of shame after. Okay.
Are we doing honorable mention after as well?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Because I don't want to give away that like, well, it's obviously not on his list then.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we're doing the top 10 game of the year.
Top 10 game of the year, the list, the big one. Here we go.
Okay.
Starting with Sean, your number 10.
My number 10 is HQ.
Yeah. I knew it'd be on there somewhere.
I had so much fun with this. It's a weird social experiment thing where I'm hanging out with friends, and then one or two of us gets the notification, and we all just drop what we're doing, whether we're like, you know, it's standing in line for a movie or I'm at practice or something, and we all just sit down and do terribly at HQ. This is just always like a fun 15-minute treat I got to look forward to, and that I usually forgot was about to happen.
Nice. John, what about you? Number 10.
Puyo Puyo Tetris finally came out over here. It's Tetris, it's Puyo Pop, it's 2 puzzle games in one, and surprisingly fun, and also portable.
I heard it's one of the best versions of Tetris to come out in a while, and that almost made me buy it instantly alone.
That depends on who you talk to, but I could agree with that.
I heard it just
Tetris is
good.
better than Puyo Pop. I'm saying.
The problem is Puyo's weight in some of the modes is a bit stronger, to say the least, which makes sense. Which makes sense because it's Sega.
Yeah, sure. My number 10 is Horizon Zero Dawn, and the reason why this one was hard for me. This was actually like my number 11 for a while, but what pushed it over the edge was just the fact that what Zero Dawn actually is in the story, and it being in the title, is so funny and dumb and stupid. Like, that story is so over the top ridiculous with its sci-fi-ness, and it's like gave me the feeling that I wish Mass Effect Andromeda gave me, of like an adventure and trying to figure out what's going on in this weird environment. It's just real good. I really, really like that game a lot. I think it's beautiful. And it was one of the first games this year to like really grab my attention. It's just too bad that a whole bunch of other shit came out at the same time, which also grabbed my attention. I wish
I had played it longer. I wish it had clicked more for me.
Yeah. Fair enough.
My number 9 is SteamWorld Dig 2.
Are we doing community or what?
Right,
we only have 5 for community. Right. Yeah. My bad. Never mind.
No worries.
Forgot. First year we're doing it like that.
SteamWorld Dig 2. That game is great from top to bottom. It is so good on the Switch. I can't recommend it enough. It's perfect to just sit down, play for 20 minutes, find a random cave to explore. The upgrades are fantastic. Each one is very meaningful. The traversal's super good. I never played the first one, but yeah, SteamWorld Dig 2 is just so much fun, top to bottom.
It's nice having a Metroidvania that traverses the way that game does too. Like, it's just kind of a different feel in how you move around in Metroidvania in that world than any other. I think I would have liked that more if I had it on the Switch, to be honest with you. Like, if I had it portably, I think that's the way to play that game, for sure. John, you're number 9.
My number 9 is Sonic Mania. Sonic's finally back. He finally did it.
For all of like 1 month.
Yep. And then Sonic Forces made it all crash and burn again. But no, it was really good. Yeah. It was solid platforming. It feels like the natural progression of Sonic games is exactly what they wanted. Yep. Blue Spheres were back, which were my personal favorite for the puzzle mode, so that was great.
And the new thing they added was cool. I like that.
I was about to say, I wasn't super fond of the new Emerald stages, but they're definitely better than what they were trying to mimic, which was the Sega CD ones.
I like it because you got to go fast.
I mean, you're right. That is, in fact, the entire point of the Emerald games in Mania.
Yep.
Or all of Sonic games.
But I'm Blue Spheres for life, though.
Fair enough. I mean, that's in there, too, so
I mean, that's complain. What your tattoo says, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
Across his back.
Across his knuckles.
Yeah. Yep.
He has blue spheres because he got the thumbs in there too.
Yeah, exactly. My number 9 was Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, mainly because of how that game kind of makes you feel stressed and like you have
it's a scary game.
real bad, like a really bad mental health problem, and like you're just trying to get through this with your girl. You're just trying to find the soul of your lover or whatever she's doing. The body of your lover. I can't remember if she was trying to find the body or soul or whatever.
She's trying to let the soul move on because the soul's trapped.
Right. And I just love the aesthetic. Really, the thing that kept it from being higher is that goddamn combat was too much at a point.
It gets pretty repetitive, yeah.
It goes from, like, it being like, this is kind of novel, to this is fucking cool, to, okay, we need to stop. Like, we need to stop doing this and let me see the rest of the story.
Mix it up somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a cool game for sure, yeah.
It's a real cool game. It had one of my favorite parts of this year in it, too. The part that you said was scary.
There's more than one scary part, believe me.
Fair enough. The one where the beast is chasing you in the darkness, I'll say.
That's scary. That's a cool fight, though, for sure.
That's a cool fight. Yep. Number 8, Sean.
Destiny 2.
Yeah, okay.
I had a ton of fun with this, and I played the whole thing actually solo, which is surprising. I'm sure I would have had even more fun with some buddies.
Yep.
But I just, Destiny plays well. This is just more of that. It's better of that, and I had a great weekend where I just like probably played like 10 solid hours of that game. Destiny's a lot of fun. I wish that DLC people were saying better things about.
Yeah. Yep. John, number 8.
Metroid: Samus Returns for the 3DS.
Yeah, good choice. Yep.
Yo, I finally got a proper Metroid game, and it was a little long in the tooth, but it was still a really good experience.
I agree. It was a little long. Yeah. I think my biggest problem with that game is that it made it hard to go to other games like it. Like Mummy Demastered was around that time for me as well, where you don't have free aim, because that's just so nice. It's so nice.
Yeah, the free aiming was really good. The counter was like a little too overpowered, but was really good.
Yeah.
Some of the bosses just took way too long to kill, though.
Yep. That's 100% correct. I agree.
A little tightening of the pacing of that game, and it would be like game of the year contender.
Yep. It's real good. Okay, my number 8 was Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
That's where I thought you were going to put it. Yep.
The reason why it's so low, because I know people will just be like, what? Or whatever, is mainly because as a Legend of Zelda game, it doesn't give me much of what I like those games for. It gives me like a nice big open world and playground, and I thought all that stuff's cool, but the thing is I want to say I want more story, but I don't want more of that voice acting, so I don't know if I want more story. I didn't think that voice acting was good at all, but like anytime you meet the characters of different races and like you do story stuff in that game, I really liked doing the 4 beasts or whatever. Those felt like good, proper, weird, gimmicky Zelda dungeon things, and I didn't like doing the like trials as much. I don't like the degradation, but overall I thought it was just a super strong game, and I found myself playing it. I found myself playing it a lot, even though it was on my Wii U and it was cumbersome to play it.
Ooh.
So I think if I had gotten that game and a Switch at the same time, I would have probably played even more of it, but like it still played fine on the Wii U. I was fine with it. But yeah, that's my number 8. Sean, 7.
My number 7 is Wolfenstein 2.
Nice.
Okay.
There are some insane moments in that game, and they're worth seeing. They're worth playing through that game. I set it to easy just to kind of get it through it, but to see where that game goes and the characters you meet, it is a ton of fun. That studio was having so much fun with their characters. Wolfenstein 2 is just really enjoyable from start to finish.
I agree with you. It's real good. John, number 7.
Except
Mario
that
Rabbids.
credits music sucks.
It's so bad.
Still.
It's so bad.
Is that the takeaway for both of you guys?
Oh my god, it is so bad.
It kind of actively ruins the whole part before it.
And the part before it is great. It's
part
really
before
good.
it's okay, yeah.
And then just that song, you're just like, I have no idea what was going through their head. Like, holy smokes, it is so bad.
Tell me about Mario and Rabbids before we keep going on.
All right, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle was a big surprise again. I love tactics games, and this is basically just XCOM, but a little bit more friendly. Although I say that loosely because it actually gets kind of hard if you try to start doing the challenges and stuff like that. It was definitely not what I expected, but it's exactly what I wanted.
Sure.
Did you finish it?
No, but it's still getting even more DLC too. Like they announced today a new DLC and story chapter, so like they're still supporting it, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I will say that final world though is kind of long, so it doesn't end on the best note, unfortunately.
Slight spoiler alert, that was on my pile of shame. I really wanted to try that at some point, but just couldn't.
You should.
I will at some point.
Eventually.
Oh, yeah. I will at some point. My number 7's Cuphead. Because I thought that presentation and game was great, even though it had problems.
It sure did.
That game looks awesome. That game sounds awesome. I wish I was better at it.
I didn't think it was as hard as people led them. Like, unless you were doing a challenge or something to yourself, I didn't think it was as bad as some people said it was, but it's not by no means easy. I think the B Hotel is garbage. That's the worst level I might have played all year.
Stage.
All year.
Agreed.
It might have actually been the worst thing I played. Actually, that's not true. There's worse, but it was bad. Yeah. Oh, wait. Right. No community. Sean, number 6.
Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, I love tactics. This came out of left field. It was super enjoyable. The combos you can pull off are great. All the characters play very cool. It's awesome getting like your new upgrades. They all feel meaningful. I had a whole bunch of fun with that game.
Cool. Number 6, John.
ARMS for the Switch.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
Yeah,
new IP fighting game. Surprisingly better than I thought it would be, especially from what I had first saw of it. Still fun. They keep adding new stuff to it, although I've heard there might be done adding new content now besides balance tweaks, so I'm a little bummed out about that. But in like the 7 months the game's been out, they've added like 6 new characters, a bunch of new stages, weapons, new modes. Like they have supported this thing surprisingly strong. And for like it being Nintendo's first like proper fighting game foray in a long time, it's pretty good and it's definitely different.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah. My number 6 is Neo, because that game came out early. That game was basically what I wanted from a Souls-like, even though it was more action-y than a Souls game is. It was fast. It was brutal. It had a kind of cool like weapon arts type system to it. Biggest problem I had with it, honestly, was just the fact that some of the parts were fucking bullshit. Like, they were actually just kind of badly designed, some parts. And that's basically why it's lower. Also, it was one of those unfortunate things that I came out, like, I think the first week of February. So I played it for a bit, but I was still playing Resident Evil 7 at the time and digging into that deeply. And then after that, like, everything came out after, like, 2 weeks of that being out. So other stuff took priority. I intend to go back and finish off Neo because I'm over, like, 80% of the way there, I found out. So might as well finish it off. But, man, that game, holy shit. There's some bad stuff in that game as well. I liked it. 5. Let's do it. Home run. Let's go.
Number 5 is Pyre.
Yep, me too.
I like Pyre so much.
Pyre's so good.
Did you finish it, Paul?
Of course I did.
Yeah. And so, what do you think? I want to hear what you thought.
Of, like, the ending?
Yeah. Just
okay,
like,
I'll tell you
where it went after we last talked.
I'll tell you the problem I actually have with it, and then I can talk about the good stuff, is that I feel like I wanted more from the ending rather than just a bunch of writing stuff. And my biggest problem with it is that I love that animation, and I wish it was fully animated because that would have been beautiful. And that's like my biggest gripe with it, is that I wanted it to basically have a bigger budget and more time behind it to make it like really pop more. But everything about how that game feels like they wanted to tell a story and then found a way to put a decent like sports game in there. and for somehow it works, and I don't know how the
really
hell
well.
I don't know how the hell they got it to work.
It is a lot of fun.
It's there are parts where I'm just like, I actually just want more story. I don't want to do this right now. I don't want to do more of this. I want to learn more about this character. So there were parts where I felt like I kind of just wish this was a visual novel because the story's real good. But like the Fireball is pretty good too, especially when you get more into the intricacies of how you can play it. Like for the longest time, I wasn't actually shooting the ball that much, and then and then I found that one of your characters is just like super good at that, and it made that game easy until it wasn't, because that character no longer was around me.
Yeah, that game can get heartbreaking, having to send away your favorite characters. Yep. There's a lot of really good characters in there. Sir Gilman has so much heart. That guy is fantastic.
Sir Gilman, he's like a worm who's a knight, and he is so noble. He's the most noble character I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's and I just love when he's like excited. He gets like a big heart in his eye.
Yeah,
and you're just like you just keep going, Sir Gilman. You're great. Just you do what you do, you man.
He's a badass.
All the characters are really good.
Yep.
I enjoyed Hedwyn quite a bit. Joe Dariel's real cool.
Yeah.
It looks great. The music is fantastic, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
I wish I had more free time with, I wish there wasn't as many good games, so I could have played through it again to hang out with some of the characters I had to send away early and stuff like that.
That's a game I want on my Switch. That is a game I want to take around with me and get more story on the bus or randomly and replay it. Like that, for people listening to this who haven't played that game, if it ever comes out on Switch, just pick it up. Do yourself a favor. That would be great there.
Yeah. The enemies, they all have interesting backstories. There's that old man dog with like his adopted son that's kind of heartbreaking.
His story's sad. Yeah.
It's crazy when some characters are just like, hey, can you please let them win? Like, it would mean a lot to me if you kind of made us lose. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Like the Harpy Girl's sister,
the Harpy
whatever.
Girl and her sister. Oh,
yeah.
There's so many cool moments and storylines in that game. It is such a cool game.
Oh, also, I remember you saying that you like replayed it, and so you won every match.
I did. Yeah, I made sure I didn't lose.
I totally didn't. I lost a few matches, but I felt like they made my story better, so I kept them. I was that makes sense in this story.
Very cool.
Like, when you meet your nemesis dude or whatever for the first time, like halfway through, he won because I wasn't prepared for him to actually rock the shit out of me.
He's good.
And then I was just like, you know what? He earned it. I'm just going to keep going. He won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, that's a great game. Number 5, some might say.
Smooth.
John, you're number 5.
Super Bomberman R for the Switch.
I'm surprised this isn't higher.
I am surprised that this game exists at all, to be honest, because I thought this franchise was dead.
Fair enough.
And then it came back. It was a little rocky when it first came out. Netplay was pretty awful. And the story was like surprisingly difficult to get through. The bosses were ridiculous. Since then, they have patched a lot of things. Netplay's gotten a lot better. They have added a ton of free content, including I think more than double the amount of stages for multiplayer. A completely brand new multiplayer mode, 3-on-3, where the character you pick actually matters. Added a new story chapter and just like a bunch of stuff. I was legit shocked that they're supporting it, and it has not cost a cent since. This is if they could fix the internet issues completely, which I hope they will when proper online servers come up finally for the Switch. Mm-hmm. It'll rank it even higher. But right now, it is my number 5.
Yeah, fair enough. Number 5 for the community, Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep. Okay, Sean, your number 4 game of the year
is Nier Automata.
Me too.
I'm noticing a trend here.
Nier is very cool.
Yep.
It goes to some very weird places. That game is anime as hell. The music's great. It doesn't look great. And I'll even say, like, playthrough B, I was not much of a fan of. I had to muscle my way through that until it finally does its twist. But playthrough C is awesome from start to finish. And like I said, that credit sequence is it's so good. And like the backstories you're getting and all the bonus info, it is really cool. That is a cool game.
Yep. I mean, he said it all. John, what's your number 4?
I'm going to preface my remaining 4 by stating I actually had a really hard time organizing my top 4, and you could probably shuffle them in any order. I'd be okay with it.
Okay, sure.
I stated that way because my number 4 is Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay. That's on my list as well. Yeah. So I get you.
Yeah. I actually didn't like the game at first.
Yeah, I hear that.
At first, I was just not a fan of it. It felt weird controlling it, and I didn't like the changes they made to everything. But then, like, once it clicked, it was done. It was great.
Yeah.
I do have a couple gripes with it. Like, some of the moons are just pointless. It's like, I looked in a box, it's there. Oh, I walked to the left of where I started, it's there. But like a lot of really good moments there, a lot of good surprises. I wish some of the good moments hadn't been spoiled for me because of assholes on the internet, but what are you going to do?
Sure.
I still had a lot of fun playing it, and I enjoyed 100%ing it, even if it did kind of drag at the end. Also, the final stage I thought was awful, but not in like a fun way.
Yeah, I'm with you. That final stage is bad. It's real bad. I agree. Number 4 for the community was A Hat in Time.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna head myself off. My number 3 was Mario Odyssey. So.
All right.
And I feel like I'm on the exact same wavelength as John on this. So yeah.
My number 3 is Night in the Woods.
Wow.
I thought this would be higher for you, to be honest.
I think number 3 is pretty high.
It's not the highest.
It's not the highest. Night in the Woods, the story and the characters are so engaging and written so well. They have captured these, like, young, low 20s or high teen characters so perfectly, which is hard to do. I see a lot of myself in these characters and the way they interact with their parents. And like, for example, the dad, every night or most nights, you can sit down on the couch. You and your dad, they don't talk a ton. They just watch this comedy show for like 5 minutes before you go to bed. And that's exactly what happens when I go home. My dad stays up later than he wants to, and we put on a show neither of us really want to watch, but it's just nice hanging out together because we don't get to do that all the time.
Sure.
And like stuff like that. It looks great. I said the audio is great already. A lot of the side characters you meet are very cool. There's a lot of cool stories and where they're discussing life and different aspects. My one knock against it is I wish you could kind of see everything in one playthrough, but you have to kind of choose who you hang out with.
Right.
So I didn't get to hang out with Greg as much as I would have liked, but I hung out with B and did some cool stuff like shoplifting at the Hot Topic, or going to that nightclub in the town. Yeah, those characters are written so perfectly. It's really great.
Sure. Understandable. I could see it. John, your number 3.
Persona 5.
Okay.
I am usually not one for long RPGs, but for some reason, Persona 5 just hooked me, hook, line, and sinker. I was invested in most of the characters. 1 or 2 I could do without, but I mean, you're not going to find a story with every character you like. I haven't been much for Persona in the past. I've played 3 a little bit, but like 5's style, its music, its presentation, its characters, like the whole like idea of it all just kind of gripped me, and I just really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Okay. Number 3 was Persona 5 for the community as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Sean, number 2.
My number 2 and my number 1 went back and forth for a while.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where I was going to land with this one.
Yeah.
But my number 2 is Breath of the Wild.
Okay. Yeah.
you were saying earlier you don't like the direction they went in. I kind of love the direction they went in. Dungeons are always cool too, but that'll show up in another Zelda game. This was like, pardon my words, like a breath of fresh air. There's so many cool moments in that game, so many weird things you can come across, like the Heart Lake. That Terrytown side quest is odd and delightful the whole way through. I still remember the first time seeing a dragon, which is completely new for Zelda, and it was just like, holy crap, what is that? And then just like following it around for a while and learning about the dragons and stuff like that. I liked all the areas you go to, just exploring, being like, well, there's a small little patch of cloudiness over there. I bet there's something cool over there, and there usually is. And like I wish I'd gotten more into the DLC recently, but just it's not rubbing me the right way. But I played so much of this game when it came out, and having it on the Switch definitely helped. Playing that wherever I want. That's a game changer on the plane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like to start to finish, and even like the castle, the Hyrule Castle at the end, being able to like infiltrate it in any kind of way you went. Like I went through this weird back way involving the waters. I felt like I kind of snuck in through like the dungeon. Like it's just so cool, and there's so much to find in that game. I had so much fun.
Yeah. John, number 2.
Number 2 is Yakuza 0 for the PS4.
Nice.
I had heard about the Yakuza series for a long time. I thought they were basically just Shenmue ripoffs. They are so much more. They're stupid as shit, and it is phenomenal. When you can basically learn a move that lets you catch a sword with your teeth and then throw it at people by doing like a spin kick, or like when you can just cut a bunch of people to pieces, or you can pick someone up and throw them off a bridge, or what's another good one? Power bombing someone. Or like grabbing someone by the head and slamming them down on like a railing and just destroying them. There's just so much stupid carnage. And that's just the stuff you can do, not involving the story. Like a literal part of the story has you drop kicking someone out of a window of a bathroom. And like, I didn't realize how over the top the series was. And apparently looking into it, like the series didn't start like that. They played it super straight and serious. But they've realized over the years they can just get away with dumb shit. Yeah. And I'm so glad they can, because
kind of like a Saints Row.
There's so much. Yeah. Like that sense, like there's one mission where you have to work together with a rip-off Steven Spielberg and Michael Jackson to shoot the Thriller music video by beating up zombies and protecting Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
like
I've heard of this.
It is unabashedly stupid, and it does not care. But there's also a completely serious storyline there if you want that as well. So like, it's a really fun brawler with lots of options. You get to do multiple fight styles. You have 2 characters you can go through. Like, I'm all in on Yakuza from here on out.
I hear, much like Saints Row, Game 3 is kind of where they hit the tone stride.
I could believe that. Yeah, Game 3 was the first one on the PS3. The first 2 were on PS2, but the first 2 are also being remade for PS4.
Yeah,
right. Kiwami.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, just as a fun side note, people have always told me I should try the Yakuza games for a while. Hearing you talk about Yakuza 0 this year has been the first time I've actually gotten close to wanting to. So that actually
I own Yakuza 4. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, you probably bought it. That's probably why.
Yeah, I don't know why I did, but I think I think I own that.
I mean, same as you guys. My number 3 to 1 have kind of switched spots a lot depending on how I was thinking about games. My number 2 was Resident Evil 7.
Oh my god!
Wow!
Oh my god!
Wow!
Yeah, I'll hold for your shock.
Lock since like March.
It's been back and forth a lot. Yeah. Resident Evil 7 is a great return to form for that game, because the main game does the survival horror, just nice little house thing, like real good, and then the DLC does all the dumb Capcom bullshit that they wanted to try with those gimmicks, and it's like the perfect marriage of like the actual game is like the horror thing, but then they also do all the dumb Resident Evil shit on the side that you can buy for extra content if you want, and it doesn't really affect anything. My biggest gripe with it is I feel it lacks in the last third, roughly, or the last quarter. And I think some of the DLC story stuff should have been part of the actual game and feels like maybe it was ripped out of the game and added as DLC, and I think that's kind of gross. I don't know that for sure. It just feels real convenient that there's some spots where it seems like some of the shit fit in. And that now it's like extra content, but whatever. The reason it's not number one, honestly, is simply because my number one just was the best in its class, in my opinion. So, like, for what it is. The number two for the community was Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number one was
Your number
Super
one.
Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
Wow. I'm a bit surprised.
I kind of
I went back and forth with this one and Zelda for a bit. They both did a lot of similar things. Just the exploration being so fun, just kind of be in that world and traverse around. And the reason this one won out is when it came down to it, and I would have my Switch, and I was thinking, what do I want to play? I have the DLC in Zelda. I have more shrines to do after after I beat it. It was Mario. I wanted to play. I just always brought a smile to my face. And when I beat Mario, I kept playing it. When I beat Zelda, I said to myself I was going to go back and do more shrines, but I didn't really do that. I moved on to other stuff. So yeah, I'm still playing Mario now. I still boot it up every now and then, and I'm go through the kingdoms trying to find more moons and talking to all the weird characters. That parrot's great. Capturing all the weird guys, that's a lot of fun. That onion dude's real good. Capturing that meat was a fantastic moment. There's a lot of really great moments in that game. And like it is just so fun to play. The mechanic of being able to do your dive in the air twice with the hat, it feels so good. I just love being in that world and playing in that world. And you should listen to our spoiler cast because we gush about it quite a bit.
Yep, very true. Cool. Sean, the community for Game of the Year guessed that actually, I have three pulled for you. I'll guess your top three that they guessed for
Are these in order?
No, these are all for like your number one spot, but these are the three guesses they took.
Like these were tied?
Oh, sorry. No, you're right. They're in order. So Nier Automata, Super Mario Odyssey, but the majority guessed Breath of the Wild.
It was very close. It was almost Breath of the Wild.
Yep. So yeah, there you go. John, what is your game of 2017?
It's pretty obvious what it is. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, fair enough.
I have discovered throughout the years I don't actually like 3D Zeldas.
That's fair.
So the fact that not only did I play through a 3D Zelda, I played through it pretty much 100%, speaks volumes to the kind of like the notes that Breath of the Wild hit. It is the epitome of a piece of candy kind of game where like you go find something and then you find something else and you keep following that trail to more stuff, more and more. Like Reese and I played through that and we were just like entertained the entire time. I didn't mind like there were quirks obviously that were a bit annoying, but honestly like they were pretty easy to overlook. Like it was just really fun and I just enjoyed the entire like 100+ hours we spent playing the game. It's weird. This was the year of like playing 100+ hour games, which I normally don't do. But I honestly am super okay with this. This is probably like my favorite 3D Zelda now because like I just feel like it did things differently and I'm completely okay with that. The funny thing is like I played it recently on stream. And like I thought after I'd played it that long, I was super burnt out on it. We played on Master Quest mode. I got my ass kicked the entire time. I felt like I was just doing bad. But after like I was done with it, I was like, I could kind of go for more. So like that just speaks to the strength of the game, honestly. I can understand completely why people wouldn't like it. Like I said, it has really weird quirks. Some people don't like the fact that it didn't have dungeons. I actually kind of like that. the fact that it was just like all like a bunch of like hidden like miniature puzzles you had to figure out, or like combat trials. Like I loved that aspect of it. So there's just a lot of that game I really enjoyed.
The trials are good. I don't like the combat trials. I'll say that.
Really? Because I kind of like the combat trials a little bit.
Every time one of those popped up, it was just like, ugh, here we go again.
I hated the first one till I kind of understood like what they wanted out of you during those, and like how to do the fights proper, and having like a good set of weapons and shields, and then it became like super fun. So
yeah.
That's my game of the year.
Honestly, the reason why the weapon degradation bugs me so much is because I really like that combat.
I do agree that if they had eased off a tiny bit more on degradation of everything, it'd probably be even better. I feel like, especially at the beginning, stuff breaks way too fast.
I mean, specifically, the Master Sword stuff bothered me. That's like...
I hated the fact that the Master Sword, like...
I just felt...
I'm not going to say that.
I just feel like I went through this thing. Just give this to me. Just give me one. Let me win one.
I wish certain things had it eased off, or maybe like you never had to worry about it or something like that. But yeah,
give me a quest to make me never worry about it. I don't care. Let me not worry about it. Let me do your combat. Let me fight this Lionel for a bit. Yeah.
Man, Lionels are so cool when you first come across them, and he just like straightens up and just like stares at you, and it's like, whoa, okay, I'm gonna go back that way. I didn't know this was a thing. Yeah, they are intimidating for sure.
Yeah. Oh, dude, for sure. My number one game of the year was Hollow Knight. It's the best Metroidvania I've ever played since Super Metroid. It's just...
I should have known Hollow Knight would have been on there.
It's just a masterclass in its type, because the way you do upgrades in that game is that you have 4 core upgrades that you get throughout the whole game that kind of just change how you traverse and like kind of do magic-y things, but your weapon stuff never changes. It's kind of the like Dark Souls thing of you just learn how to fight. You learn how to like jump around, move around, and use the mechanics like properly for all the boss battles. The boss battles are a little lacking. That's like its biggest problem. But I think the way it does just moving around that world, attacking stuff, and like your upgrade system of using charms, where you have like charms that do a certain like buff or perk or whatever, and you can equip them based on how many slots you have available. So you can like do builds essentially in the game. So at some point you might use a bunch of charms to make your health just crazy. Like the way I took on the last boss, I saw some people like buff up their damage all the way so that they hit really hard, and they're like moving. Some people like buff up their movement so that they're moving around and dancing around, hitting the boss, and like they're really good at like just not getting hit. I just like buffed my health up all the way and just fucking man mode stood there and took all the damage while hitting him back and forth until he died from attrition. It was like the fact that you could actually just do so much with such a simple system is just like, that's just a beautiful game. And it's the soccer of Metroidvanias. It's the beautiful game.
All right.
Yeah, it's just too bad the DLC is garbage. But yeah.
Ooh, really?
It's free for what that's worth, but it's boring.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's boring. Yeah.
We also didn't do the community predictions for John.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're right. Community predictions for John. The third highest was Super Bomberman R.
Had a feeling. Second, Zelda.
Breath of the Wild.
And the first is Odyssey.
Overwhelmingly Odyssey.
Sorry, guys. It didn't even make top 3.
Foiled again. For mine, number 3 was Nier. Number 2 was Breath of the Wild, and they were actually... Oh, no, sorry. Number 3 was Nier and Breath of the Wild tied. Number 2 was Odyssey. And then the first top guess was overwhelmingly Resident Evil 7, which
Yeah.
If you had asked me 2 weeks ago, you would have been right. But I'd thought about it more and more.
All right.
Was it the DLC that pushed you over?
No, it's just the fact that I'm like, this... When I was thinking
Just
about
Hollow
them,
Knight's so
I
good.
actually just sat there and thought, Resident Evil 7 is a great Resident Evil. Hollow Knight is the best Metroidvania. Like, so that's why it won. I didn't play you, Wayward. You played yourself.
What's the community game of the year?
The community game of the year is Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
It's a good game.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, we do some honorable mentions.
We should do some honorable mentions.
Right.
All right.
Games that almost made our list, or they didn't for whatever reason, and we still want to give them a shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 3.
Oh, okay.
I have 13.
Jesus.
I have...
How many do you have, Paul? You got cut off.
24. I just counted them.
What?
Jesus.
But there's a reason why they're not all number 11, we'll say. But they all deserve like a thing,
right?
A shout out.
They deserve a shout out. That's the thing is, yeah, because some of mine is like, there's no way this was ever going to make my list, but like, I believe it.
Paul,
all right,
Paul,
Paul.
I like to preface Paul's list with the fact that I played about 25 games that came out this year. So your honorable mentions is almost as big as my entire list.
I mean, you travel a lot.
Yep.
Also, Persona 5 is like one of my pile of shame. And that's like the longest game that came out this year.
Looking at my list, my top 3 are games that took about 100 hours each. And Odyssey took 60, I think, to 100%. I forget how long that took.
Here's the thing. When you were playing Persona 5, I played through 4 games.
Like, that is a fair point.
So
I also played Breath of the Wild, Yakuza 0, and
didn't you
Persona
beat
5
52 games this year
on stream.
Okay, I'm just saying you played plenty of games.
Yeah, but none of them came out this year.
Okay, well, I mean, you made that choice.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, like 3 of those games, like I played through with Reese, so we weren't just completely marathoning them, but, and they were 100-hour games, and then like Bomberman R, I probably clocked about 100 hours in.
Yeah. You think Reese is why you played so many like real long games?
Yeah, 100%.
That's what it seems like, because you kept saying, "Oh yeah, she wanted to play it," or we were playing it together and stuff.
Yeah, Reese got me through. Like, I usually am not a fan of long games. Reese got me through them because we were like having fun together as a couple.
Cool.
So like you can basically thank Reese for like the top 3 of.
Hey man, playing with another person can definitely like add a ton to the game.
Totally,
I for sure.
Totally.
Paul, why don't you give us your first 15, and then I'll start saying some.
No, because these are obviously going to be overlaps, so I'll just say some of the ones you guys have already mentioned. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. It has a lot of cool parts, but I hate that gameplay. Like, it just felt...
fine with it.
Yeah, it just felt wrong to me in the way that the first one didn't.
Melee attack is so good with the hatchet.
The melee attack is real good. Also, it broke a lot for me, and that's a personal issue, but fuck did it... It's kind of the same way how Ori breaking for John painted his perception of that a little bit. This painted my perception of Wolfenstein just as a product, as garbage, even though it had cool parts.
Any bugs?
Sonic Mania was fucking great. It was so good.
That's one of my honorable mentions as well.
Yeah.
I bought a Sonic game this year. I didn't think I was ever going to buy a Sonic game ever again, and I bought a Sonic game.
And you played through it, right?
Not through all of it, no. Which is probably why it's like not in my top 10.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, that's a cool game. That one boss fight where you play Puyo Puyo is just a great like out of left field moment, and yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. Metroid Samus Returns is a great, great, great game. And it was real close to making it on my list. It just didn't. Because I felt stronger. John, why don't you give us one?
Picross S. I love me some Picross. And finally, a home version of Picross was good to have.
Sure.
Yep, that's on my list.
Finally, a home version.
We haven't had a home version since like...
Oh, you mean like on a TV?
Yeah, like a console version.
All right, okay.
We haven't had one since like 1995. Yeah, no, it was great. I actually played most of it on home console, which was a little weird to get used to, but like it's Picross. I liked it. It was good.
Yeah.
I think I didn't play it as a ton because I just really like Picross 3D, and round 2 was before that. So when I'm like getting in bed and I'm wanting to play some Picross, I'd rather keep playing 3D round 2.
Sure. Ghost Recon Wildlands is just a fun shooter, but it's nothing special. It's not going to set the world on fire.
The Predator.
It had the Predator. That's one of the reasons why it came back into my memory as like, oh yeah, this controlled real well for a third-person shooting game that you can do multiplayer. And I played a bunch of it multiplayer and a whole lot of it solo. I actually finished that game. Like, I completed it. So, it was, but it's nothing special, honestly. Also, Destiny 2, the raid was real good. I thought everything, it looked real good. I thought everything else
Another
was
real
meh.
good shooter.
Yeah, real good shooting. I thought most of it's kind of meh, though. SteamWorld Dig 2 is great. You already talked about why. So, that got rid of a few of mine. Sean, why don't you give another one?
Tales of Berseria.
Yeah.
I always wanted to get back to that, but, you know, it's an RPG, and there's other games to play. Maybe one day I will finish that game, because I was enjoying it quite a bit. I would have to relearn the combat. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah. Battle Right came out this year, so I'm including it there, even though I played a lot of it while it was in its beta build or whatever last year, at the end of last year. It officially came out this year. I played more of it. It's cool. That's a good game, and I'm glad that is fully out. Along with that whole trend, 20XX officially came out this year. They added an ending, and that game is still real good if you like Mega Man X. Yeah.
I forgot that officially came out this year.
That officially came out this year.
Does that win the 20XX category? Just by default.
I was thinking about doing that joke, but I decided, nah, whatever.
I'll go for some low-hanging fruit. I don't mind.
In terms of stuff that didn't technically come out this year, but it did, because it's in early access and it's the full thing as of right now that I played.
Yeah, whatever.
Dauntless was a good Monster Hunter replacement until Monster Hunter World comes out in 3 weeks from now, 2.5 weeks from now, and until I was playing the Japanese Monster Hunter Double Cross on Switch when I got a Switch. So Dauntless was good for a while there. And in that same regard, Dead Cells was really, really good.
Dead Cells is on my honorable mentions.
I just can't wait till it's
because
done.
I didn't play much, because I just wanted to come out for full and just have the whole experience
Me
there.
too.
I'm just waiting. That game has like so much promise. I am so excited for it.
Yep, me too. So into that. Prey. Prey is the System Shock that I've wanted for a while. And I need to go back and just finish it off. But yeah, it's good. John,
I'm going to jump in with one.
Okay, yeah, do it.
Assassin's Creed Origins. I
actually
started
heard
this
good
up
things.
this last week. I'll probably be talking about it on like next week's show.
Sure.
That is a very good Assassin's Creed game. I've kind of been off the series for a few years now. You know, the 2-year hiatus. I didn't play a ton of what was that other one with the brother and sister, and then I played barely any of that was Syndicate, and then I played barely any of Unity the year before that. So it's probably been about 4 years since I like really, got deep with some Assassin's Creed, and this is just great. It looks great. The character's cool. You have one of the best bows ever.
Okay.
I'll say that Predator bow that like super zooms in is real nice. I just love taking all the little tools you get. I just love taking on big, strongholds. It's really good. That camel you have is so dedicated, and he is always there, and it's great. You can set a custom waypoint and then hold down A so the camel will just go to the waypoint for you.
Great. All right.
It's great.
That's pretty good.
It is super good.
John, I want you to get in on this. What's another one for you?
A Hat in Time.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a really fun play. It was a little loose compared to, say, Odyssey. Sure. But it had its charm. It was a very charming game to play through. A little too easy to get lost in the worlds for better and for worse. But it was an enjoyable little romp.
Yeah, I agree with you. Battle Chef Brigade is great until you get sick of the thing it does. And then you're just like, well, I'll wait until I want to do more puzzles, I guess. And that time's coming soon, because I haven't done those puzzles in a while, so I might just go ahead and I might finish that last chapter off. It doesn't help that I was kind of trying to push it to, like, get to other stuff, so I played hard through it when it came out. I think if I had just taken my time through it, it would have been a little higher in my regard, but for now, I think it's just a neat little thing that exists. Other neat little things that exist. Hand of the Gods, the Smite version of Duelist, the like tactics card game type thing by the Hi-Rez guys. That thing is neat, and I found myself playing more than a couple hours every night for a while until way more stuff came out. Also, The End is Nigh, which is like a bad Super Meat Boy, but it's still fun, if that makes any sense. Because you don't have a wall, you don't have like a way to jump off the walls. You kind of just like hang from ledges, which is so much less interesting and fun of a mechanic. But I like hard platformy games, so it
that new Super
niche.
Meat Boy comes out this year.
Meat Boy Forever or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, Super Meat Boy came out today on the Switch, so I'm going to be playing that as soon as this is done.
Oh, I did not realize that.
I'm going to jump in with Fire Emblem Echoes. This didn't leave like a super lasting impression, but it was a pretty solid Fire Emblem game that I just feel like nobody at all talked about. But it was good. They kind of streamlined a lot of like Fire Emblem got pretty like dense with tons of stuff going on. This kind of streamlined a lot of it back down to just the tactics, which I appreciated.
Cool. John, you got one?
Got one more. Splatoon 2.
Right.
It is more Splatoon. I loved the new mode they added. Salmon Run was phenomenal. But the schedule they had it on at first was awful, and it's still on like a on-day, off-day schedule, which is still aggravating.
Yeah.
But the gameplay is tight. The new weapons are cool. I do miss the fact they haven't brought back most of the old weapons and power-ups, but still, super fun game.
Cool. Absolver is a good technical demo of doing a Dark Souls-like game where you do kung fu instead of use swords, and they need to take that tech and make a real game because what they offered was way too little. Because when it's like you go through this training area essentially, and the game actually ends with you becoming an absolver. Because the actual game is supposed to be, now that you know how to use the mechanics, there's no more PvE content for you. You're supposed to like go around the world and fight people, and that's boring. So, yeah. That's why it just gets a nod. Also, things that just get a nod, Get Even is a totally okay shooter that isn't anything special. But I will say Observer is made by the Layers of Fear guys. I think there's 2 of them. And that is a great dystopian cyberpunk kind of Resident Evil type shit where you're stuck in a weird hotel or weird apartment that's in lockdown, and you're trying to figure out what happened to your son with this weird, like, virus that is affecting people because people are half cyborg, half people in this world, and they're getting all
Isn't that
messed
still
up.
a cyborg?
A cyborg, yeah. So they're getting all fucked up and doing weird shit, and you jack into their memories to see what happened to them as they're dying, and it's just a bunch of weird, cool, trippy shit. John, do you have any more?
Nope, I had just 3.
I got a few more. This is a piece of DLC, Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's really good.
Yep.
Having Shovel Knight on the Switch is really good. So if you never played the DLC, maybe look into the Switch version.
Okay, cool. These are like what I would classify as my actual like number 11s now. What Remains of Edith Finch was half good. It had 2 vignettes that I felt were really engaging and I liked a lot, and it had 2 that
was on my list as well.
It had 2 that were kind of dull to me, and yeah, for some reason I thought it would be like scary at some point, and it isn't, so that's good. But like, yeah, that story is heartbreaking.
There's creepy elements.
That story's heartbreaking, and I kind of don't like how it ends. So
yeah, it's pretty sad. But I like kind of just being in that world or that house specifically. That is just a fun house to go through and just seeing all these like weird secret passages.
It has one of the
And
best like story parts this year. It does like this story part does this weird. It's kind of like the Brothers thing where the story is reflected mechanically in how you're like actually playing the game. So it has a lot of impact that way. It's real cool, and it deals with like some mental health stuff, and it's really that's really sad.
Section.
It's really sad, but like it's super good. The cannery section, exactly.
Cannery section. I also really like the comic book section.
Yep, those are the two.
That one's good too
for me.
Those are like the two best ones. Yeah. Yep. Which isn't to say I didn't enjoy the other ones. I like, you know, that's right up my alley. That narrative focused game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say another one here. Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Sure.
Is surprisingly good that no one is talking about it. Those two women are so good together. The performance is great. The banter is always hilarious. Has some really cool sections, specifically that end train section is a blast. There's a section early on where you're running through like the favelas or whatever while it's like raining in the dark, and that's really great as well. So that's a very fun one if you like Uncharted for sure.
Sure. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. The reason why it's so big is obvious. You can get into a game and it's engaging enough for you to play with some friends for a little bit. I didn't like it solo. I never actually played it solo. I played it once, and I was just like, that was boring. And I've been playing it duos and with 4 people ever since, and that's a blast. That's just a good time. And it's easy to just jump in, do a few rounds, and then log off for the night. There's a reason why that thing got big. I'll throw another one out there. Mummy Demastered would have been way higher on my lists of everything if this year wasn't full of some of the best Metroidvanias. And if I wasn't pretty burned out on it. Because by this time...
The game has a cool soundtrack.
The game has a very good soundtrack. But by the time this came out, I had put 40 hours into Hollow Knight, about 30 hours into Samus Returns, and about 25 hours into... what's the one you did? SteamWorld Dig 2. So I was just like, I'm so burnt out on this type of thing right now, dude. Like, I'm so done. So, yeah.
Cuphead, you know, that game looks... there's not much I need to say about Cuphead, why it gets a shout-out. Of course, that game gets a shout-out. I wish I was better at it.
Okay, fair enough. I only got 2 left. Do you have more than that?
I got 4 left.
Okay, burn through 2 more.
All right, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing. Just I wish I had gotten better at it, and Assassin's Creed is actually making me think about this. Assassin's Creed, I feel like a total boss. Like when I come across someone, you know, and I'm laying traps or whatever, I know exactly how things are gonna go. Horizon, I just always felt like I never had the upper hand. I never quite got the combat, and I wish it had clicked more with me.
That's too bad.
Another one is Reigns, Her Majesty.
Oh, right.
The first Reigns is real good. The second Reigns is way better, and the writing is awesome. It's funny. There's like an inventory system now that you're like trading stuff with people. It is really good.
Yeah, fair enough. Evil Within 2. They finally learned how to do survival horror, guys. They did it. It's just kind of too bad.
Us 2 games.
It's just kind of too bad that like the open world thing detracts away from the actual horror and like decent story pacing from it. It's a hard balance to reach. When you do an open world game, you kind of have to sacrifice story, and I felt Evil Within 2 could have had a decent one, but instead it's just kind of a bunch of horror-y tropes, which I'm also fine with. There's not much to say about it. It's totally mediocre in a lot of ways how it plays. It plays like an open world game. It gets a shout out because number 1 was so bad, and this is totally fine.
My second last honorable mention is Hidden Folks. This is a phone game that is basically like the best Where's Waldo game that I know of, at least.
Yeah.
It's just super charming. All the sound effects are like made from, you know, some people's mouths, so it you know, it's fun to listen to, and the characters are weird. The environments are weird. That you're just like, you know, pixel hunting for all these like weird little characters and stuff, and that's just kind of a fun little time.
Cool. Oh crap! I actually had 2 more, but whatever. Divinity Original Sin 2. that game, I just wish I had played more of. The problem with it is that it does this like weird D&D type thing so well where the dungeon master is the game, and that's kind of what you want, because you kind of want to be playing with some friends and just like doing a co-op thing in this big adventure that like they've created for you to go through, and you can kind of play around with stuff the way you want to outside and inside of combat, and it does all that very well. The problem is that matchmaking and doing the like multiplayer stuff is a little cumbersome if you don't have a set 4. And if you have a set 4, it has the same problems as D&D. Scheduling people, getting people all together to put away 6 to 8 hours a session to just play through this game and whatever. Yep. It's so good, but it's so rough. It's one of those games that if your job is to just like, if you and 3 friends have a job to just play video games, this like probably ate up a full month of your time, and like that would have been probably the best month of the year, and I could see why people would say this is one of the best games of the year, but unfortunately I didn't have that luxury, so whatever, it lacked. Doki Doki Literature Club gets the actual number 11 spot because it blew my fucking mind.
I'm in the middle of that right now.
Okay, what do you mean by middle? Like 2 hours in?
I'm a little past 2 hours in, yeah.
Did a thing happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one way to describe that game. A thing.
You need to finish that game and then either look up or listen to me talk about that game on the podcast thing I did about the ARG portion of that game and have your fucking mind blown. It'll just tear your world apart.
I'll definitely look into it. No spoilers. I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah.
My last honorable mention is Nex Machina. Housemarque makes some real sharp, awesome soundtrack, dual joystick shooters. This one didn't get enough praise for it, and unfortunately that studio is not making these anymore. So this definitely needs a shout.
Yeah. God, I can't wait to talk about Doki Doki with you. Holy shit. Okay. Pile of shame. Obviously, this is going to be way shorter for me. I have 3.
Yeah, I have 5. This is John's category. This is the
all right
pile of shame brought to you by John Wheeler.
Let me see if I can actually look at my list here, unless the cat's going to start typing over it.
Cat's typing games over it. We wish we had gotten to.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
All right, John, why don't you give us like 5 in a row?
All right. Nier Automata, which is actually the one I came the closest to playing out of them all. I literally spent one night going like, all right, cool, I'm just going to play this tonight. Had to install it. And then I had to download a patch. And by the time all that was done, I had passed out, fallen asleep.
Okay.
So, and then I just never had a chance to play it after.
That might be for the best, because this is a game where you need to commit to the whole thing, because just part of it is it's going to be like, you're actually not going to like it probably.
I guess in that vein, Xenoblade 2. Sure. I actually did start playing this one. I got about 2 hours in, but that 2 hours have only been me being still in the tutorial area, because I think half of that time was just the clock running when I had to go run and do something else. I'm still in chapter 1. I've only just technically left the tutorial area, for those who know that game. So, but I've already seen like 10 hours of the game at least, thanks to Emil.
Sure.
Hang on, I have a cat who might be trying to eat a cord here. I might have to. Okay. Another game. Yeah, I can't actually scroll up anymore because the cat is lying on most of my keys. Prey. Prey was one I was super curious about. Bagel, you got to go.
3 strikes, you're out.
Yep.
He's trying to eat the. Yeah, he wrote a lot of stuff in my game of the year list here right now. A lot of the number 6. He tried to eat the phone cord or the microphone cord.
Oh, that's not good. Bad kitty.
Oh, Zeno says for translation he has Pyra now. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not even at that yet. I'm on the ship before that ship. That's how far back I am in Xeno 2. For Prey, I really like the idea behind it. I love sci-fi. Yep. I love like shape-shifting stuff. I thought it'd be really cool, and I just never sat down and played it. That's all that was.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool game.
And I'll throw out 2 more here.
Yep.
Tekken 7 and Injustice 2, both fighting games that I really want to get into. Both that had good story modes, just both I just did not play.
You know what? I'll add those to my list too. There we go. Because
Injustice 2 is a fun time.
Yeah, I need to get to Injustice 2 at some point. I played 1 round of Tekken 7 just to get a feel for it, and I was like, this game is real good. I want to play more of it. Just haven't.
All right. One of the games I wish I had played was Finding Paradise, the follow-up to the Moon.
Yep.
Sorry. Which I'm a huge fan of To the Moon, so I can't wait to find some time to sit down with this game.
Sure. I'll throw one out. Mario plus Rabbids, because I love that type of gameplay, and I think that combination is silly, and I want to see how that's done. And I hear good things.
It is very silly, yeah, but like a good silly.
Cool. All right, John, are you?
John, do you want to give us like 4?
I'll try. I'll try. The cat's on this again. Okay. Gravity Rush 2. I didn't play it because I never actually finished the original Gravity Rush, but what I played of the original one I really liked, and I heard this one was better. Apparently there's like online features for that game that are going away as of like tomorrow or something crazy soon like that.
Oh, okay.
The game's not even a year old and it's already losing features.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
By the way, I don't know if I would finish Gravity Rush 1. I seem to remember the end game being a real slog.
There you go. You gotta go.
I mean, you know he will, though.
Yeah. I already have a save for Gravity Rush. So.
Yeah.
Fuck, big ol'. You got everything all fucked up now. God damn it, cat. Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't play this.
I was really gung-ho for it, but when that came out is also when we got Yakuza 0 and Persona 5 and Breath of the Wild, and you can see where this is going.
Japanese games.
A bunch of super long games came out in a row, and we were playing them forever.
I wish there was a way you could just play the one DLC, because I know that one thing would be worth like at least probably $15 to $20 to you specifically. But unfortunately, well, I guess you could just download my Steam copy of it. Right, whatever. Anyways, do you have more?
Yep. Neo. I was super curious about this, and I love Team Ninja. So this would have been the Souls game I would have finally jumped into. Or the Souls-like, rather.
Yep, it's good.
Yeah, never played it. And Hollow Knight. Was super gung-ho by that because I love Metroidvanias. Had it downloaded, installed, ready to go.
Almost play it this month.
Yeah, I was super excited because it seemed like that was what I thought we were going to be playing for the podcast for Patreon. And instead we're playing Dream Daddy.
I'm so excited to play Dream Daddy, though.
All right. Yeah, I got a bunch more, but you guys should just hop on.
I'm gonna say 2, because the first one's Hollow Knight, which seems to be on everybody's played or wants to play list, and the third one is Dream Daddy. So I'm excited to play it this month.
That worked out well for you. Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll say Persona 5, mainly because I did play it, but like, come on, I didn't play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I had played more of it, because that game is real good. I feel like people tell me that I got to the point where it really started to hook them, and that's where I stopped, around the second dungeon, for people that know what I'm talking about. That's where people say, like, right after that is where it hooked me, and I'm just like, God damn it. So, I'll go back to it at some point.
I guess in those veins, I wish I had had time for Yakuza 0. I heard so many cool things about it.
Yakuza 0 is really good.
Yeah.
Kiwame's also good, but not as. And I feel like you need to have played Yakuza 0 to get the most out of Kiwame.
Yeah.
Where did I leave off? Hollow Knight. So Horizon Zero Dawn.
Sure.
Again, that was another one that, like, at E3 and trailers looked amazing, but it had the unfortunate problem of dropping right next to Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it got overlooked.
Yep.
Parappa the Rappa remastered I wanted to play because I love Parappa, and I'm Jammer Lammy, but just never sat down and played it.
Yeah, okay.
Ukulele, I held out for the Switch version, and then when the Switch version finally dropped in December, I just didn't have the time to play it. So
Sure.
it's just sitting on my Switch waiting to be played. And apparently, at least that version has all the fixes that fixed a lot of complaints the game originally got. So,
Oh, okay.
Okay. Cool.
Flint Hook. This was a game I was super
yeah.
excited about from PAX, and
Forgot about
then
that, too.
when it dropped was right as I had to leave for a trip, and I completely forgot about it as a result.
I'm going to add
Sure.
that to my list of what I want to play.
Fair enough.
I already said Injustice 2, Fire Emblem Echoes because I like Fire Emblem.
Sure. Makes sense.
Xenoblade 2 already said, and Dead Cells, which I've heard phenomenal things about, but anytime it's come up on stream, it's never won a vote. And
Those are bad people.
I just haven't sat
they're
down
just
and played it.
confused individuals.
Confused individuals. I mean, it's technically not fully out, so it'll make more sense when it's out, I guess.
I thought Dead Cells was officially out now.
No, it's still
No.
early access.
It's still early access.
But
It's
it's
still-
constantly on sale for like $12.
And they're still
So-
tweaking it and all that stuff. I'm just scared because in that game you kind of like have the progression thing of unlocking items. I'm just scared that I'll unlock everything all the way because there's like rankings as well of like how powerful they are. And then they're just gonna like when the game comes out erase all of that.
Yeah, that's
And
kind of why I'm also holding off.
That's
for
gonna
now.
be a little bit of a bummer. So I stopped.
One game I wish I had gotten to was Shadow of War.
Okay.
I kind of made the decision over the break, Assassin's Creed or Shadow of War, and more people were saying good things about Assassin's Creed, so I did that. I plan to play this kind of as my next one once I get stuff that I like really need to get out of the way. So
Sure.
I'll be playing this in not too long from now.
Sure. I'll throw another one out here. I really wanted to try Call of Duty World War II because I like Call of Duty games and I wanted to see what the return to that would be. It's been mixed. I've heard good and bad from people, so I was kind of interested to see for myself what that was, but I just never got around to it. Other shooters came out at that time, so whatever. Do you have any more, John?
Nope, that was my list.
Cool.
All right, I got one last one.
Okay.
It's this game called Battle Chasers.
Battle Chasers is great.
Yeah, so I don't
Yeah.
know a ton about it, but every screenshot looks very cool. And
Are
I'm
we still
pretty sure
Steam
it's-
sharing? Because I have that.
Yeah, yeah, that's good to know. I think it's on its way to Switch, which sounds real nice.
That sounds like a better way to play it.
Yeah, so I'm kind of just holding off for that. I think that comes out this year.
Sure. My last one is South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, that's another one for me too, actually.
Yeah. It just never fit into my I really want to play a South Park game right now time. And
I was
yeah.
I was watching Reese stream that. Gameplay looks a lot slower, even for like a tactics game. I just don't know if that's the way
Really?
she was playing or not. But like it just like because it's the tactics game versus the Paper Mario style that Stick
Right.
of Truth was.
Yep.
And I feel like the pacing might be off as a result.
I'm going to throw I Am 3D Homer a bone and say War of the Chosen. I wish I had played that because I love XCOM 2.
was there a community pile of shame list?
There was. I pulled,
Okay.
I believe, 3 from there.
Okay,
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's probably all 3 of the Game of the Years.
maybe.
It's pretty close. Number 3 was The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
Okay,
Number 2 was Nier Automata.
sure.
And resoundingly, Super Mario Odyssey was the other one, which
Yeah,
makes
that
sense.
makes sense.
Yep.
It's pretty close.
Yep.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay, that's it, right?
That is it.
No. No,
Oh.
no, it's not.
Okay.
So, as some of you may remember, throughout the year, we've been getting letters from an anonymous person
Yep.
who has written us questions that we read out, but also has written Undertale in every single slot for their Community Game of the Year entry, weekly for about, or I guess the entire year. This has all culminated into one final thing that showed up in the PO box right before I left for MagFest.
The human head.
No, something better.
Okay.
I'm going to have to step away from the microphone here
Okay. While he
because
steps,
we're gonna need you're gonna need the camera to look at this one. So make
Okay,
sure
we'll try and describe this for the people who are listening to the stream.
while he's doing that, I will say there were some people that put Undertale as their choices for this year, And yes, I did take into account, but there weren't enough of you to make it count. So
Okay, is it the actual person behind his arcade cabinet? He's been there for 2 hours as we recorded.
it's just a
this, waiting.
skeleton that he pulls. He's been waiting a while.
John has a box. Looks like 2 boxes taped together.
Okay.
How big is John's P.O. box?
He's the culmination of the joke.
Okay. I'm in so far. I'm
don't
wondering
know
if
how
I
well
should
you
make...
Here, there we go. I can do this.
I'm wondering if I should make your camera like full screen to see this.
This is the culmination of the joke. This box comes up to my chest. I'm about 6'1", and inside of this box is a trophy.
Trophy.
Okay.
This is a trophy.
I like where this is
going. There's a cat on my
going.
shoulder. There's a cat on my shoulder now.
It's a pretty tall trophy.
Yep. This trophy.
Oh wow! It is very tall.
It is very tall.
Oh my god.
This trophy says on the bottom, if the cat was not on my back, this would be a lot easier. Bagel, please get off my back.
This trophy is the size of the boxes, so it is like at least 3 feet tall.
On the bottom, it says, Top 10 Perspective, Community Game of the Year, 2017, Undertale, Game of the Year, every year.
Wow.
Wow.
I think Undertale's the community game of the year.
Okay.
I just want you to see, like, as I pan down, how fucking tall this thing actually is.
That is so tall. Oh my gosh.
That is the best fucking punchline to the joke ever.
Pretty good.
And
pretty good.
As a pity throwaway to us as well, he also included, I assume it's a he. We still don't know who this is. I have my suspicions.
No name, but just the fingerprints.
They've also included a medal. Top 10 Perspective 2011 Game of the Year, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective.
Nice.
Oh, hey.
That's pretty dope. Wow.
Why didn't that get a remaster on the Direct today?
It might. It might still.
Eventually, yeah.
So, yeah. Nice fucking joke, dude. I just don't know what the fuck to do with this thing now.
There's one last letter with a crudely drawn snowman that says, I gave you all the clues.
Nice.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
Do you have the space for that, John?
Maybe.
I'm sure you'll find somewhere.
Yeah.
Reese is gonna yell at me.
Well,
if one of you guys want it, by all means.
Reassure her that it'll be moved to the museum at its earliest convenience.
Right. Yep.
That's great. Thank you to whoever sent that in. That is awesome.
Yeah, the bill came with it as well. They definitely spent a lot of money on this.
Wow.
So way to commit to the bit.
They probably spent a lot sending a letter every week, just buying stamps.
I think they're a local Calgarian. They're at least based in Canada. I know that for sure, but I honest to God think they are based in Calgary.
Why do I feel like they were from Edmonton? That's what I thought this whole time, is that they were actually from Edmonton, because I thought they wrote in.
Be.
I thought we didn't know anything about this person.
I don't know. I have my suspicions about like 4 or 5 people, but I don't have any confirmation.
Okay.
Is one of them Sean? Because that would be hilarious. Sean's been sending it the whole time.
Just me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. It's not me. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Last bit of the show. Predictions, right? We did predictions last year, and we got to make some.
Yeah. We have to do that.
We did. Yeah. And we got to make some for 2018 as well here. Okay.
Did I write down the predictions? Did you write them down?
I have them. I have all of them.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll let you take this.
I know mine were mostly off.
Okay. We're going to start with you, Sean.
Okay.
You tripled down that the Nemesis system is adapted everywhere.
Yeah. I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
I am not quadrupling down.
Okay.
I have given up. It seems like no one gives a shit about this system.
Was it Shadow of War or whatever the new one is? Did that? But that's the same company.
Yeah,
and
that
they
doesn't
kind of
count.
ruined it.
Also,
microtransactions.
War of the Chosen also implemented it as well.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
But I said everywhere, so I don't think that counts.
It doesn't count at all. So you are not quadrupling down.
Nope. I'm done with that.
I'm going to leave the space blank then on your your rap sheet so far. Okay. Well, we will not move that forward. You also said the first part of Final Fantasy VII Remake gets an early 2018 release date. You rolled that forward.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna roll that forward either. I haven't heard about that forever.
Okay. Those were kind of like your specific ones. Then we all started talking about the Scorpio, as it was known.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right.
We guessed prices. Sean, you said it would be $400. John agreed.
Really? Oh man.
John agreed with you. And I said, I think they might undercut it just a little bit, so I'll guess $350.
And we were all
all so fucking off.
Yeah, $499.
Yep. So
damn.
That's a big L for all three of us. Regarding the Switch, Sean, you said Nintendo Switch has 2 SKUs and a price. So 2 SKUs meaning
what the price was?
$250.
Okay.
Yeah. So the 2 SKUs, if I remember, was they had like a solo thing and a bundle on launch, is what you said.
Okay. Well, they did not have 2 SKUs.
Yeah, they definitely did not have that.
I mean, they had 2 colors, but I don't think that counts.
Yeah, and it also was not $250.
I guessed 250. Is that
you guessed 250?
Okay, all right, $299.
John and I both said it has 1 SKU. We disagreed. John said it would be $300, and I said $250. I agreed with the price with you.
All right, John got it.
So
Holy
John
shit,
got it.
Did I get one right? Holy
you
shit.
got it 100% right.
Yay! I'm gonna keep this medal then. Hooray!
Just like take a Sharpie, cross off what it says, and put "got Nintendo Switch price right" or something.
John finally got something right. Totally worth the gold medal.
Okay, Sean, the rumored Pokemon Sun/Moon on Switch is not real. You said.
Ooh.
I was right. That never came out.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. Let's do a John one here. Resident Evil 7 is going to be good. That is, I mean,
that was a pretty easy one.
It's like subjective, but I think most people think that it's good.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it rated high 80s on Metacritic. I think that counts as objectively good.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
And I mean, just throwing my hat in, I agreed with you.
All right.
So there you go. Sean, you will be really, really into Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh no!
And I said,
thinking like a nice easy one.
Mine was, I think it'll be good. It'll be okay. It'll be good.
I think
we were both wrong.
Way wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why it's our most disappointing. So we're actually on brand here for that.
Yeah. I bet I thought that was like a nice, easy one. Like, I'm just gonna make a joke. I'm gonna get really into this.
Yep.
Oh man, I was so naive.
Okay. Let's do a John one. For Honor will be good. This is super subjective.
Oops.
I think most people like For Honor.
Was For Honor this year? I thought that was last year.
I mean, yeah, it was 2017.
You're the one that made the prediction, man.
It was 2017. So, For Honor was liked, and then
February.
I like it.
And then it was kind of hated for a bit. So it's back and forth, but I would give it to you. It was fine.
Yeah, I would too. I like that game.
Cool. All right.
A little bit I played.
Metacritic average 70s, high 70s.
I think you called this next one though. Horizon Zero Dawn will be good, but not live up to the hype. And I think that's true. Mainly because of when it released.
I feel like Breath of the Wild kind of fucked that one over.
Yeah,
I feel like
it is.
Honest to God, I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn would have done way better had it not come out like the week before Zelda.
Yep. It actually came out the same week. Zelda came out Friday. It came out Tuesday.
I think
that's even worse.
I think it did live up to the hype. Like, people were really into it.
Most people who played it definitely liked it, but the problem is, like, a lot of people didn't pick it up because they were waiting for Zelda.
Yeah, I think people have cooled on it, but I think when it came out, people were, like, pretty into it.
Yeah. I don't think it lived up to the hype it gave itself. A lot of people were talking about it, and then not as many people because they were talking about Zelda. Okay. And I agreed with you, actually, on that one. I just looked down, and, yep, I just agreed with John. The last one for you, Sean. Nintendo releases the Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing mobile games, and both are super disappointing.
So I'm half right.
Ooh, yeah. Animal Crossing was, but Fire Emblem's apparently done pretty good.
Oh wait, no, Fire Emblem did come out. That's right. Was that
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
year or last year?
Last year. Well,
Yeah,
2017.
no, yeah, they're
was
both
it
2017.
Okay.
Yeah, beginning versus end.
I don't know. I actually think that Fire Emblem game is kind of disappointing too.
Really? Because I liked
don't
it
know.
a lot.
I liked it for a while too, and I know a lot of people who still play it.
I do too. Wayward in the chat here is like nothing but
I'll give you
that.
disappointing on Animal Crossing. I feel like that's a safe one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Me personally, I think that Fire Emblem was disappointing. But
Comment says you're 75% right. Fire Emblem Heroes is decent.
okay,
75% right. Okay. Okay, John, you made a few predictions here. Ukulele will be good, you said. Kind of subjective.
Yeah.
We get a trailer for Shenmue 3. Was another
Which
one you
we
did.
we did. Yeah, we got a really awful looking one. That's right.
It counts.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
it counts. Yep.
Yep. And all VR tech starts seeing price cuts, which also happened.
Yep, for sure.
Nice.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Yep. Okay. This is this is where I got cynical when you talked about Shenmue 3. And I was just like, that team was going to ask for more money and people are going to be like, yo, fuck Shenmue 3. And that hasn't happened yet. So I'm going to roll that forward.
Didn't they ask for more money? I feel like that actually happened.
I don't think so. Not this year.
I'm going to roll that forward.
Okay.
Because I think they're going to do that still. Roll forward. Okay. And I put Sony cuts PSVR price. Which, did they? Because I don't think they did. I think it was the other two that did.
I don't think there was like a full cut. There was definitely sales, but
definitely sales.
And it was a bundle as well.
Yeah, I don't look at it close enough, so I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. I'm going to say that's probably not a win because the other two were the ones that did the price cuts.
You know, I bet it did get a price cut because that second version came out that has HDR pass-through.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Okay. Cool. That's it for me. John, your last one. Animal Crossing Mobile is well received. Fire Emblem, not so much.
Ooh, I got
those
backwards.
Kind of reversed.
Backwards.
I got them backwards. Yeah.
Yep.
And in theory, it makes sense because Animal Crossing should have been better.
Yes.
So
I'd argue they both should be better.
I thought Heroes was fine. So, yeah. Even though I didn't mention it in honorable mentions now that I think about it, so maybe I didn't think it was that fine. That is it. We have to do predictions for this year. And Sean, you're better at finding categories for this, so I'll give the floor to you now while I write these down.
Oh man, I think I just pick at random. What's coming out? What are some games people want to say are good or bad?
Yeah, for this year.
What the hell's even been confirmed for this year? Like, I can't put anything on Bayonetta 3 because I don't think that's confirmed for this year.
I mean, I'm gonna take a softball right now, and I'm gonna say Monster Hunter World exceeds expectations.
Oh yeah, that's a safe one there.
Super
I've got
safe.
a good one. I've got a good one. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is not the last Wii U game getting ported to the Switch bullshit Nintendo does.
I hope that they port every fucking thing from the Wii U to the Switch. Fuck you.
No. You know what? I'll take it one step further for Sean.
Oh,
Mario
no.
Maker gets announced. Mario Maker gets announced. Yeah.
Mario
announced
Maker
or sequel
for Switch. Announced? Question mark?
Yeah, port or sequel. Yeah.
Okay, so port or sequel.
Oh, here's a good one. Do they announce Smash Bros?
Sean's totally right. Oof. So now here's the thing. Apparently they're projecting selling 20 million Switches this year. And so far the games we know that are coming won't hit those numbers. So I could believe there being at least an announcement of a Smash, but it would have to hit
let's each
year.
predict Smash. Yes or no? Do they announce Smash?
Yes. I think so.
Announce yes.
I don't think they're gonna announce it this year.
Yeah.
I could see next year.
I'm gonna say announce yes, release no, unless it is unless it's a port, unless it's a Switch port.
You mean a Wii U port?
Or sorry, Wii U port.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's no way it comes out this year.
I agree with that.
But I don't even think they announce it this year. I think maybe next year.
Okay.
No, I think they'll announce it. They announced Smash 4 years in advance. They're totally going to announce it this year. It's going to be, even if it just gets a fucking shitty title card like Metroid Prime 4 did last E3, it's going to get announced this year.
I agree.
Okay, all right, here's another one.
Yep.
Does Crackdown 3 come out this year?
Ooh.
If so, which half of the year does it come out in?
Ooh.
I mean, dude, it has to, right? Because if it doesn't, nobody gives a shit. That thing flops.
Yeah.
It has to.
Yeah, what is the current release date?
My Walmart.com pre-order for Crackdown 3 got an updated release date today of January 1st, 2020.
Welp.
Amazon apparently updated Crackdown 3's release date to June 29th.
Yeah.
Of this year?
Yes.
I say it does come out this year, but it's in the second half.
So Crackdown comes out Q3/4.
Yeah. Whereas June 29th would be Q1-2. Like it's the first half of the year.
But that's like 2 days, 1 day away from like.
I mean, we got to draw the line somewhere.
I feel like what happens if it gets like a 1 day delay? That'd be like really shitty to get bumped like that.
You can make your prediction. Do you think it's going to get a 1 day delay?
Fuck. Actually, I think you know what? I'm going to go with you, Sean. I'm going to say it's second half of the year.
I'm gonna agree. Mainly because if it doesn't come out at all, that series is fucked. That game's gone. Nobody cares.
That series was already fucked, but they've already got Terry Crews footage done. They've got so much work done on it. They need to finalize it. That's so much wasted work at that point.
Here's a good question from the chat. Any 3DS predictions?
I'm going to predict that I don't open my 3DS at all 2018.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, go for it.
Doesn't open. I'm putting open. I'm not putting played. I'm putting open. So if you use it at all.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Watch like a good game come out, and then it's like, oh, is it worth being right at the end of the year?
You'll have forgotten.
Don't worry. They'll re-release it next year on Switch. Don't you worry.
Yeah. What about you guys for 3DS predictions?
I'm predicting after E3 it's done. Oh no,
here's a good one. Do they even announce a 3DS game at E3?
No, they're going to do the exact same thing they did last time. It'll be in the Treehouse event, and not during the actual Nintendo Direct.
Okay, just at all. Like, is there new 3DS games coming?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say no, then I realized this is Nintendo we're talking about. So yes.
It's been a while since I guess Samus Returns. Okay. Yeah, I bet there's
Samus Returns. Kirby's coming out in like a week.
Yeah, okay. I bet we still hear about the 3DS at E3.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to be like trickle down to like next to nothing, but I still think there'll be at least one last hurrah for the 3DS.
All right, I got a prediction. They kept saying that this year they're going to bring back the NES Classic and the SNES Classic with more units. I'm going to say it's not enough units.
Like the SNES Classic's still been showing up in shops, but you're right. It has not been enough units yet.
Yeah, but the NES hasn't come back yet. So I'm kind of curious how many they're going to have of that. And I'm going to say both of them, not enough units.
Okay.
Do we get a main series Pokemon game on Switch? Yeah, that's already been confirmed. They confirmed that last E3.
But do we get it this year? Isn't it usually like 2 years?
Ooh, fuck. Because Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon kind of.
Do they like announce like a name, and then say maybe 2019 or something? Like, do you even hear about Switch Pokemon this year? What do you think?
When's the last time they missed a year with a game? Because I feel like they haven't in a couple years.
Isn't it usually every like 2 years?
That's for main games.
Yeah, isn't it? Well, that's what we're talking about.
So that would mean this year then, in that case.
Like I'm thinking there wouldn't be one this year.
I'm not counting Ultra Sun Ultra Moon as a main game.
Oh, I am. Let's see. Handheld games.
I'm actually not getting in on this conversation because I don't care at all.
Okay, apparently no Pokemon games came out in 2015, so actually my theory is a little shot here. 2013 was X and Y, 2016 was Sun and Moon, so that was technically 3 years. It looks like roughly it's been every 3 years.
Yeah.
2 to 3 years. It was 2 years during the DS era by the looks.
All right, so there probably won't be one this year. Do you think they announced a Game Boy Classic?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Paul?
Yes, but not this year.
No.
No, not this year. I think they do.
Okay.
All right, we got to do some. We got to do more Xbox. We have to do some Sony stuff.
Yep. Hold on.
Oh, well, here's the thing. What do we do for Sony? They've already said they're not going to announce PS5, not for a while.
I am going to take one here and say Resident Evil 2 Remake does not get an update. I think they're going to fuck us over.
Well, that's a bummer.
I'm pretty pessimistic when it comes to games I like.
That is true, except for Monster Hunter.
I'm going to make the prediction.
I mean, I played the beta, so I'm
there is
going into it.
There is still no good first-party color for the DualShock 4s.
What?
Well, like I'm always saying, there's no like cool colors, like extra colors for their controllers.
This seems a little subjective, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll know if you're right or wrong by if you talk about that cool new pink controller you got
exactly.
or something.
If there's like a cool color, I'll be like, hey, look, a cool color.
All right, I'll throw in one. The rumored Devil May Cry 5 finally gets announced.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's
dope, yeah.
How about how do you guys think God of War is going to do?
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, that is this year.
Also, isn't that like a 40, 50-hour game that was announced?
I think they said 40-hour game, yeah.
Which is crazy for God of War. What do you guys think? Good or bad?
I think it'll do well.
Good. Yeah, I think it looks good.
Yeah.
Anything for Kingdom Hearts 3 or Spider-Man?
Spider-Man will do good. People will complain about all the QuickTime events.
I'm going to say people are going to be tired. I bet Spider-Man's not going to do good. People are just like, yeah, QuickTime events, or it's like Batman combat again. Like it's fine at best.
What's a good Microsoft one? Because I feel like Microsoft has nothing coming this year aside from Crackdown.
Yeah,
I guess State of Decay 2. Which
do you guys have predictions for Mega Man 11?
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking amazing. Mega Man.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be good. Amazing is too strong.
How about do you think we hear about the Hitman devs' next game?
Ooh.
Not including like the bundle they're doing for the recent Hitman, but like, do we hear about a new game from that studio? Whatever that studio's called, I forget what it's called.
Yeah, I forgot to.
They're not still IO Interactive?
Oh, I think they are. Yeah, they just sold off IO Interactive. Do we hear about a new IO Interactive game? Yes or no? It can, if it's a Hitman 2, that counts as long as it's a new Hitman game.
Like just an announcement, right?
Yeah.
So you don't think it'll be season 2 of Hitman?
I mean, it probably will be.
Does that count though? That shouldn't count. That's just more additional content for their other game.
Okay, fine. It doesn't count. Do we hear about a different thing they're doing?
New IO Interactive.
Because I don't think it's going to be new. I think it's going to be Hitman Season 2.
No, I think it'll be Hitman Season 2 as well.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm going to say no.
Kane and Lynch 3.
Great.
Kane and Lynch 2 is all right. That has a cool...
Kane and Lynch 1 was okay, too. It was just... there's problems with it.
Someone brings up a real good question. Okay. Do we see Death Stranding this year, as in playable?
Is that different than coming out?
Either way, really. Do we say Death Stranding comes out this year, or do we say that it's actually playable at E3?
There's no way. I will make the prediction that there's no way it's coming out this year.
I agree with that.
I'll agree with that, but I think it will be playable at E3.
Like playable for press or something at E3.
Yeah.
Death Stranding.
I think that'll happen, but it is not coming out this year.
Not released though.
Here's a good one. Does Kojima finally propose to Norman Reedus?
Yeah. Yo, when's Metal Gear Survive dropping?
I think much later this year.
That got a release date.
No, I think it's actually soon.
Is it soon?
I think it's February. February 20th.
Here's the better question. Who cares?
Me. I want
really?
to. I need to see what that is.
Okay.
Call it morbid curiosity.
Let's make a prediction about it.
I'm gonna say Metal Gear Survive is worse than I originally thought. That's a personal one I wrote in there. And I'll know if it's true, and I'll be honest about it at the end of the year.
All I can think is like subjective stuff, like fans of the series find it offensive. But that's way too subjective. I mean, you can put it down, whatever.
So is offensive to fans of series?
Yeah, like people just like reject it, fans of it.
Okay.
I think I've made a lot of predictions. Do we have a good number?
We each have like 12-ish.
That seems good.
Pretty good. Yeah,
it's pretty good. You guys have any last minute ones? I think I'm good. All right.
Yeah, I don't think.
Good.
Is there any hardware that they're talking about? Not really, right? They kind of blew their load.
Just new VR stuff was just announced at CES.
Yeah. VR.
Like
too early for a Switch redesign.
Yeah, Scorpio came out in November.
Yeah.
All right, Bloodstained. I'm going to say that Bloodstained is good, but doesn't... Bloodstained is good, doesn't do particularly well financially.
Actually, here's one more we should do. That Nintendo's subscription, like their online service, where you get like one game a month.
Yep.
Do you feel good about it? Like when you at the end of the year, when you look back, are you going to be like, I think they gave us good games, or is it just like I already own Super Mario Bros. 1 800 times? Why was that 2 of the months?
So I put Nintendo subscription worth it ? And then we'll give a yes or no.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say yes. I have a little bit more faith in Nintendo since they released hardware that I like.
That app is terrible.
Yeah, I mean that's the app I like. Obviously, that's the killer app.
Yeah, I'm still gonna say yes. I think Nintendo might kind of just make it work in like a weird, quirky way.
Yep.
But I swear, if they give us Excitebike, man, like
it's gonna be at least 1 month. It's gonna be at least 1 month.
God, Excitebike is terrible.
What is it with you and Excitebike specifically?
Excitebike has never been good.
I agree, but what is it with that game that you always go back to?
No, Nintendo just keeps talking about it, and it's like, shut up about Excitebike.
I mean, fair enough.
John, do you think the subscription thing is worth it?
Yeah. I think with the price point they were going for, it'll end up being worth it.
Cool.
All right. Should we call it there?
I think that's a podcast.
I think that's good. Yeah.
That is definitely a podcast. That is a celebration of games. Watch them port Excitebike to the Switch, just to like push all my buttons.
Do you mean like the virtual console, or do you mean like specifically there's just a copy of Excitebike you can buy now at stores?
I guess that, because that's the closest to like the Wii U thing. So they're just like, and like they're saying, hey, we've announced Excitebike for the Switch. It's called Definitive Edition. It has a bonus epilogue.
Maybe they just kind of like half mess with you and just bring like Excite bots instead.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah. All right. That's going to do it. That's a podcast. That is a Game of the Year podcast. If people are wanting to listen to real podcasts, there will be a normal one next week.
What a great year. Great year for games.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. People want to send in questions for next week. It's topdownperspective@gmail.com. At TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Facebook group, Patreon. Um, while we're still working on our Dream Daddy podcast, and look for the next poll probably around, I'm going to say the 23rd. So that gives us like 7 days for the poll to be up.
Sure.
So
That works.
We'll talk about that more.
Yep.
Thank you to whoever sent that trophy that John is cuddling right now.
Yep.
That is
what a fucking punchline, dude. What a fucking punchline.
Yeah, that is exciting. Thank you. All right, thanks everybody. I get to go to sleep now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.